time right now is 6:06 p.m. and it's Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2026. Currently doing DoorDash and Scroober. And I recently had a customer that just, I don't understand where these, but I do understand where these customers come from, and sometimes I just don't understand why I even take the chance of working with them. And this isn't a specific race group of customer, it's the customer that is low paying, like race that I normally would not work for. And just to be nice, because that's the type of person I am, this is garbage, trash, get off my screen. The race I wouldn't work for, I'm sometimes nice enough to work for them, as long as it meets my criteria of, you know, meeting like $2 a mile or something like that, $1.80 a mile or something like that. Just, like I said, being nice, it works for me or whatever. But sometimes when I work for these customers, or try to work with these customers, they just don't want to work with me, and I'm just like, bro, why? Like, it just pisses me off, because like I said, I take these chances, and it's not all the customers all the time, but a lot of the times when I do take these lower paying orders, like, let me show you guys, I guess. There's them out there, but the true amount was for $10 for like 2 miles. But when you see like the time that I spent to try to work with this customer, it's horrible. Here's the breakdown of this right here. So it's $10.62. Hopefully I get that or whatever, bro. But for an hour and 9 minutes. And it was actually for more miles, because unfortunately I couldn't get to the store where I was, because it's a game day today out in Smyrna, and I had to go around or whatever. But it was originally supposed to be $10 for like 2.7 miles, and unfortunately it turned into 4.3. So, you know, and the thing about like customers like this, right? So, and sometimes I hate doing it, especially shop and pay orders for these specific customers, because there's always gonna be a time where there's something missing on the order, right? And on Uber, right, it's not like DoorDash, where DoorDash actually pushes the substitutions through automatically. So all you had to do is possibly communicate with the customer that that they need to substitute because the original item that they wanted isn't available. And once you communicate with the customer and the customers agree that on DoorDash the customer agrees that that they like what they see as a substitution, then like I said, DoorDash pushes it through automatically. Unfortunately, Scroober does not do that, so you need an approval and you have to wait for the freaking customer to get back to you. I only usually wait 5 minutes. I'm texting within that time, I'm calling within that time, and for some odd reason customers like to use fake numbers or whatever and act oblivious, like they don't know it's a fake number that they're using, right? Or they'll text with you and agree, like on Uber today, right? Like, this is the whole thing. The customer, I was texting with them because I couldn't get in contact with them by the phone, so I texted with them. They answered by the text. I don't understand that either. They want to, like I said, act oblivious. On my previous video, I was talking about how the women do this a lot, but like I said, I do say there's men that do this too, but it's a small percentage of them, and they act like they want to be oblivious and shit, right? And this customer happened to be a man or whatever and stuff like that, right? And he wanted to act like he was oblivious, and I said, so I was texting with this customer, right, with the Sprouts order that you just seen, and they texted back and they agreed that, okay, they wanted this other substitution for the item that wasn't available. I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to scan it in, and Uber, whenever you need an approval for something, sends an approval notification to the customer. So right after I scanned in the item, obviously the customer had to have gotten an approval notification. It gets sent right to their phone, right? But, just in case they don't, I call and I text, right? Obviously the calls still don't work, but I do text the customer, let them know that, you know, hey, I'm waiting for an approval for this one item. I just need an approval so that I can check out the item, because without an approval on Uber, I can't check out the item because the card is prepaid, the amount that is prepaid. So I can't really, if the item is missing or whatever and I need an approval for like a different item or whatever, the item won't go through because it's not on the order or whatever. It hasn't been approved by the customer or whatever, you know. So it has to be on the order, it has to be on the ticket or whatever in order for it to go through as normal. Like I said, the customer agreed that they wanted the item. I scanned it in, needed approval, text the customer. I said, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna start my 5-minute wait as a, you know, me as a contractor. I'm only gonna wait 5 minutes because I noticed that some customers, they want to play games, and this customer, like I said, they want to play games. And I said, you know, I'm gonna wait 5 minutes. Text the customer, I'm gonna wait 5 minutes. 5 minutes passes, and still waiting. There's been no approval. I'm refreshing the app thinking that, you know, maybe it's a glitch on my end, because sometimes it can be a glitch or whatever. I'm refreshing the app. Nope. Customer still doesn't want to respond to the messages at all, even though the app is showing that the customer is reading the messages. I'm like, so you really trash. You're really playing games now, bro. And I'm like, come on, man, right? And, you know, text the customer that, hey, you know, there's been no response for 5 minutes, and I have to remove the item from the order because it's been 5 minutes. That's what I do. I text the customer, I let them know my whole process, so, you know, there is no discrepancy in between. So just in case if they want to report me to Uber, guess what? There's a paper trail there of me explaining what exactly I was doing and how I was communicating with the customer, right? Just so, like I said, there's a paper trail just to cover my ass, right? Because that's what we should do, you know, with these apps and shit like that, or just in life in general. Just cover your ass. Make sure that, you know, you have proof of what you're doing and how you did it and stuff like that, right? You know, so I have to remove the item from the order or whatever, put it back or whatever, check out the items or whatever, tell the customer on the way, right? You know, and yet again, the customer's still playing games, because once I arrive at the customer's address, trash, right? Once I arrive at the customer's address, they're still playing games because the order is set up for meet at door, right? And, you know, I'm at the door, I'm knocking at the door, you know, like pretty hard or whatever and stuff like that. I'm like, so I'm knocking, I'm calling, but yet again the calls don't go through because it's a number that's fake or whatever. It's a spam number, and I think that these customers do know that. They're just lying, right? I'm texting the customer. I also let the customer know that, hey, you know, I'm at the door, you know, with the order, because, you know, this order was a meet at door. It wasn't a leave at door. If it was a leave at door, I would have just left the order at the door. But unfortunately, it's a leave at door. And on Uber specifically, they make you wait freaking 8 minutes so then the system can automatically contact the customer or whatever and tell the customer that, hey, the driver's here, when they already know that the driver is there, bro. You know, and it's just dumb shit like that, bro. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, why do you even have to play games? You're not even paying me that much. And you know, I'm knocking at the door or whatever. I'm knocking several times or whatever. And then the customer wants to answer the door, oblivious to, like, wow, you really here? That's crazy, right? That's how they're looking at me. I'm like, bro, like, you know, like I said, I honestly do hate working for or working with the low paying customers. I really do. You know, the being nice thing, I hate working for customers in general that are not appreciative and they want to waste your time and play games and act oblivious when, you know, these things happen, right? I just don't understand what it is or what they gain from doing this. Maybe it's funny to them or whatever. It's some type of game to them or whatever. But I'm like, man, like, I will report you, bro. I'll make sure that you get reported so you don't even have to use the apps no more, because this is not fair at all. You know, you're not even paying me a decent payout at all to work with you, and I'm being nice and trying to work with you and going a little bit above and beyond to try to make sure that things are going accordingly, and you're playing in my face. You know, like I said, it just gets annoying. That's trash. I'm not doing $6 for 2 miles to work in traffic right now, bro. This is garbage. Well, like I said, I did say on another video that it is usually women that usually be doing it a lot of the times. But right now it was a man, like I said. And it just, honestly, a lot of the customers, it just depends. I did have a few female customers that wanted to act oblivious with their orders too. But like I said, that's normal to me. I'm used to the women, doing that anyway in general. For some odd reason, they like to play the most games. I don't understand. But I just forgive them and I charge it right to the game. Yeah, like I said, my lesson that I think, the lesson to, learn here, or what to take away from this story is to work for a rate that you normally would work for. So, even if you're being nice a lot of the times, have a standard that's trash. I don't touch alcohol for less than like $15, and it has to be a good rate. Like, I don't do that. But the lesson here is to work for a rate that you normally work for, because once you lower your standards or whatever of working for a lower rate for, customers that just aren't appreciative, you're gonna get played with. And this is a prime example of what I'm having to deal with working for a rate that I normally would not usually work for a customer that is gonna play in my face and not be appreciative. Happens every single time, bro. Every time that customer that's not appreciative, and then you're working for a rate that you wouldn't work for. Happens every time. So you have to always remember to work for a rate that you need to work for, or else you're gonna get a customer that's not going to be appreciative, and it's going to happen. It's not if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It happens just like that. But that's so far my day, and as you guys can see, they're just sending straight shit freaking rates down the pike. The rates are shit. They've been shit for the last few days, but I do have to remember that it is the second of the month, so a lot of people are, have just paid rent or are paying rent or whatever. So unfortunately, the rates are always going to be lower in the beginning of the month. Usually at the end, like at the very, very end of the month, like usually the last week of the month, sometimes the rates could be decent, but once it hits like the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd and stuff like that, that's when the rates go to shit, right? And then you have to wait until like, this is garbage right here. And then you have to wait till like the second week of the month. It's usually the second week of the month, the second or the third week of the month. That's when things usually pick up to where you can make a lot more of your money. Sometimes it can pick up on like the first week of the month, like that Friday or something like that, Saturday or something like that. But you have to wait till like the weekends. But the weekdays, the first week of the month, like the weekdays, it's just straight shit rates, like literally everywhere. And this one's decent right here, bro. This one's decent. We'll try this right here. I don't think I've ever been to this restaurant. Let me see. Where is? Oh, it's Forest Street. Okay, that's why. It's the Forest Street address. So that's decent, I guess, bro. Usually it's crazy busy over there. But we'll see. We're gonna start tracking our miles as usual. Trash. $8 for 7 miles? Trash. Not doing that. Trash. It's been nothing but just trash. $7, 7 miles. Trash. Get that off my screen. That's pennies, actually. So that was like $7.05 for 7.8 miles. That's pennies. You're getting paid 90 cents a mile on that. Like, that's pennies. Like, it's what I'm talking about. Like, you guys have to... Some people that don't care about what rates that they work for, like, they're going to get customers that I'm basically talking about, where they're not going to appreciate you at all, and then you're going to get treated like trash. And that's not, nobody likes to get treated like trash, bro. So, keep your standard of what you will work for, because a lot of times those customers will show appreciation for you all. 9 times out of 10, they will, because they're paying a rate that they have to, usually those customers appreciate their money, and they appreciate the services that they receive with the money that that they're spending. Let me freaking, what is this? This is trash right here. $10 for 6.6 miles. No, we're not doing that. We're gonna actually turn this off. They actually supposedly have, I guess, a $2 peak pay or whatever going on right now, but whatever. got Uber Scoober order or whatever, bro. So I'm gonna try to do this and see how much I can make on the day, bro, because it's been nothing but just stress lately, bro. Like, the bills keep piling up or whatever, and you know, the money is just getting real tight lately, bro. Like, and you know, while people might think like, oh, okay, well, just find a job, apply for a job. I mean, I've been doing that, you know. You go on Indeed, been applying on Indeed, and then they're sending me jobs that's like paying me that they're sending me jobs that I would love to be paid for, like paid accordingly to how they're showing in the ads. I'm like, okay, cool. This is garbage right here. I love to take those jobs that they're saying that, oh, we're paying you $1,200 a week. We're paying you $1,500 a week. We're paying you $1,100 a week, $1,000 a week. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me apply to these jobs or whatever. I'm sending in hella applications with these jobs on Indeed, but then I have to remember that Indeed isn't a real thing or whatever, because that's where they post all the freaking ghost jobs, or like the freaking bait jobs. They like to bait you in and shit like that, like just steal your information. I don't know what the fuck they do on Indeed with your information with the jobs, but like I said, I'm like, bro, I'm applying to these jobs that are telling me that they're gonna pay. Some jobs are actually saying that they're gonna pay $2,000 a week or whatever. Like, I'm like, bro, okay, let me apply to this. I'm like I said, I just have to remember that Indeed is a fucking, what do you call it? Like a trap, like a trap. Literally like a trap. It's literally like a trap, freaking job application stealing information website, bro. Like, but I do it anyway, and you know, you get no messages from the employers or whatever. You get no messages from the companies that, you know, especially if you want to be a contractor, which is what I'm applying for, being a contractor, trying to find new contracts or whatever, to yet again supplement income that's leaving, you know, my pockets. And there's no callbacks. Like I said, there's still expenses, and the expenses are getting more expensive, or they're just expensing, and I'm not increasing my income because guess what? There's no callbacks, you know, no feedback on, you know, hey, we're interested in your experience, which we see you have multiple years of experience doing what you do, and there's still no callbacks. And it just gets tiring, bro. It really does get tiring, honestly. It really does get tiring. I was like, bro, when does it end? Like, when does it end, man? When does it end? But that's all I have to say, I guess, for now. I'm gonna go and attempt to pick up this order as long as it wasn't fucking stolen, you know, which has been happening. But anyways, I'm gonna go and pick up this order and deliver it to the customer. The time right now is 6:50 p.m. and it's Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2026. I just finished that order from the 800 Forest Street address. Our time on it, we had to wait for a little bit. Let me get out this area right here. The time looks like we only waited like 30, well, we had less than a 15-minute wait. They were still preparing the food when I got there, so I had to wait to text the customer, let them know that, you know, they were still making the food. I always do that. That's just a part of my service, or how I choose to service my customers. Like I said before in my other videos, I just like to keep my customers up to date and communicate with them. I serve, you know, the customers that I choose to serve. You know, that's what any good business or any person that likes to do good business would do. But this is that order here. Wasn't too bad. 30 minutes for was it like $14 and 4.4 miles. Right? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So it's my range. It's like $3 a mile. What I'm looking for Scuba. Right, we could turn on door trash again. See what type of trash they want me to put at people's doors. Woohoo! But this way. Oh shit, do I still got that? Oh, $7.99 tip. Yay. So the person that was playing in my face from the Sprouts order, they still tip me. That's nice to know. There's something. Damn, it just slipped my mind, bro. It just slipped my mind. I'm gonna think about it. Let me see. There was something I want to say, but it just slipped my mind. Like what I wanted. This is garbage. I'm not gonna work for that rate. I'm not doing shop. There's certain like shopping pay orders that I'm not gonna work for at all. Like certain rates, I'm like, no, you gotta pay way more for me to just, because like I said, just doing because the last rate that I just worked for was the $10 for like supposedly 2 miles. That's $10 for 5 miles, and it's about the same items that the person want. I'm like, no, I'm not getting played again like that, bro. Like I said, there's a certain standard that you have to set to avoid getting played with by some of these customers, because if you don't have a certain standard, you will get played with. You know, and it's so crazy that a lot of these like scenarios can play, like business scenarios or even just life scenarios, they play into every part of life. Like whatever you experience in business, you're gonna probably experience in your everyday life. If you have something that you experience in your everyday life, you're gonna probably experience it in business. And then unfortunately, life is like one of those things or tasks, one of those freaking, you know, jobs that you have to live through to figure out problem solving, you know, figure out how to solve problems within business that you would deal with in your everyday life, or figure out everyday life problems that you had to implement into your business or whatever, you know. Like it's a I guess an ongoing cycle, I guess I'd say. I guess, you know, you're always gonna have problems that you're gonna have to try to fix or whatever, and you know, that's what I guess life is for, just figuring out problems that you have to solve. Sometimes it could be really annoying, especially when, you know, you have the same scenario happening to you over and over again, even though you're trying to avoid those scenarios. And it's not like you're like, I'm not talking about like running away from problems, but you're trying to avoid ever coming in contact or to reduce those problems that you know sometimes do occur, you know, in certain situations. And, you know, unfortunately, life is like one of those games that likes to play where they're going to put those certain scenarios right in your face and play with you. And you have to now figure out a new way to get yourself out of whatever sticky situation that life puts you in, you know, that you didn't want to be put in, but then now life put you in there, and now you have to figure out a way out. You know, it's super annoying, bro. It really is. Life is really sometimes annoying. But I guess it is what it is. But yeah, about like just the job situation, I think that a lot of people are having issues with jobs, whether it's, you know, high paying jobs or, you know, lower paying jobs, middle class paying jobs, whatever the fuck it is, right? A lot of people are having problems. And, you know, one of the issues I was just speaking about was how I'm having issues with knowing that, you know, the income here is just very sketchy. It's getting very, very sketchy by the, like, every day it's like, it's diminishing. You know, every certain days of the month, every month I have bills. Everybody has bills certain days of the month. You know, every month they have about the same amount of bills. It might not cost the same every single month, but they have bills every single month. And when the income is diminishing or dwindling, and you're trying to do something to be proactive about it, and when, you know, things are just not freaking adding up, it gets so stressing. Like, this is trash right here. Garbage. That's garbage. What in the world is that? No. The traffic is way too heavy still for these trash ass rates. But, you know, it gets very stressful for, like, when, you know, you're trying your best to figure out new ways to make more money, but it's just not happening, you know? Like I said, and being proactive, not being reactive, like, oh, you know, almost like, and sometimes it's not really like, I guess if you lose a job, you might have to become reactive and like, oh, now I need to find another income. But maybe if you had another income, to not maybe like supplement it, but like to almost add on to whatever you were originally doing, that could kind of help, which is what I've always kind of done. Like, I've always had multiple jobs and multiple things I've done and stuff like that. As an entrepreneur, you have to have multiple things to do, because your sources of income can dwindle real quickly, for real. Depending on like how you scattered out your portfolio of customers, your income can dwindle real quickly. But I guess, like I said, just being proactive, and which is what I've been over the years. But my thing is like trash. I can't do just almost any job just for any reason. Like, like if I'm already struggling with this work here, I'm not going to go and get a job that I'm still going to be struggling at. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. If I want a job, which is what, I am looking for, to just supplement the income that's dwindling, obviously, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go and find another struggling income. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, if you're trying to dig yourself, this is trash. If you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, you don't dig a new hole to try to get yourself out of the first hole that you just, you got yourself into. You dig some type of incline to try to get out the decline that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. You don't decline and keep on declining. Like, that's not gonna raise you up at all. That doesn't make any logical sense at all. And that's what my logic tells me. Like, I don't think that because I'm just because my income is dwindling with the work that I'm doing now, that I need to go get another job that still does not pay my bills. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That just still, like I said, doesn't make any sense at all. But just like I said, being proactive and just knowing that you have to look for something and still nothing's popping off, it just, I don't know, it could be super stressful for real. And like, I guess the times that we're in right now, it's just, I don't know, it's super hard, I guess, to figure out what the fuck to do. A lot of people say that there's lots of options out there, but sometimes if you don't know any better, you don't know how to do any better. And that's one of the points in my life that I find myself at, where it's like, well, I don't fucking know a lot of other options. A lot of the other options that I found have been straight up fake, like too good to be true. Unfortunately, you meet people that just are who they say they are, or I've been given opportunities that, like I said, were too good to be true. I'm like, this will change my life. I've been waiting for this opportunity. Like, I've been looking for this fucking opportunity, and then now you're gonna show your face, and then boom, and then now you get like the rundown of how this opportunity works, and you're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Like I said, too good to be fucking true. And that's a lot of parts of my life that I've experienced too, like too good to be true moments, too good to be true people, too good to be true just opportunities. And it's just left me with like just to be to myself. And sometimes I feel like that doesn't help out, because it's like I'm not gonna almost figure out as much information by myself as I would with trying to work with other people to figure out more information. But I'm like, you get so tired of like dealing with situations where it's just not helping you at all. You're, like I said, a lot of times in my life I've been meeting just people that are just too good to be true, or just finding opportunities that are, like I said, still too good to be true. I'm tired of trying to be sold a course that I can't afford because I don't make the income to afford the fucking course. I'm like, bro, it's just, like I said, it's just a repetitive cycle to just go down. It just really does get annoying. It really does. It really does. It really does. Especially like when you're trying to help get yourself out of a rut. and then you're explaining to, you know, the people that are supposedly supposed to be helping you, you know, trying to get you out the rut that, you know, you've explained that you're in. And then, you know, I'm not doing that right now. No, I'm not doing that right now. No, they could pay a little bit more. But, you know, just explaining to people that, you know, you're in a rut and you're trying to get yourself out of it. And, you know, like I said, it's just, you think everything's going to be okay, but then it turns out, like I said, it's just a little too good to be true. And sometimes you just, you get tired of just going through that same repetitive process. And a lot of times I think that that's why people get tired of meeting other people. You know, especially like getting into relationships, you just get tired of it. You know, you get tired of applying to jobs with employers that are just like the same as the other employers that you left. You know, like, you just get tired of it, bro. You really do. You just get tired of it. Like, the same repetitive process that you're still trying to escape, but you seemingly can't escape it, even though you're trying to do better, figure out new ways to do better, to, like I said, escape the same process. But the same thing keeps on manifesting itself into your life. And you're like, bro, what do you want? Like, you know, like, what the fuck else do you want, bro? Like, man. I don't know, another thing that, you know, I've also noticed, because I do believe in, like, patterns, right? You know, life being in patterns, and this is garbage. A lot of things happen in patterns in life. Everything in life, if you think about it, everything is in a pattern. So you can kind of gauge, you know, how certain things will happen, you know. But I guess one thing that shows, like, the pattern, especially in you know, here in America, is capitalism, is that the pattern is that there's always going to have to be a whole bunch of lower paid people rather than higher paid people. There's literally not enough positions of higher paying positions, and there's not enough higher paying positions for the lower paid positions to supplement that. There's not enough. And even if they did try to make that, it would make the system that we function in, which is capitalism, it would make it imbalanced. So then that would mean that it would ruin the wealth gap between what makes a person wealthy or rich, you know, well off, versus a person that's lower class. You know, and that's the reason of why they won't. I'm not doing that at all either, bro. It doesn't matter if it's 1 mile. They can do that for a little bit more, bro. I'm not working for these low ass wages in this crazy amounts of traffic right now, bro. Like, there's crazy amounts of traffic right now in Atlanta. I don't know what the fuck it is with, like, the traffic going on these days. I don't know why a lot of people are out more these days. I'm like, bro, if gas is already still high, then why are a whole bunch of people out? I'm out because I'm working to try to supplement my bills and you know, put gas on my car because I have to do that. But I don't know, bro. There's way too many people out for gas to be this high, and people saying that gas is way too fucking high, and there's crazy amounts of traffic right now. You know, it just doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah, like I said, it's just like, they're not gonna ever, like, while we're complaining that, you know, the wages haven't been increased, the wages are never going to be increased to the amount where people can live off of it, until we get out of the system of capitalism, you know, where they can kind of dictate that. You know what, I like this rate better. I like that rate better. I'll do that. But until we get out of the system of capitalism where, you know, like, the playing field is unfair, like I said, because there's always going to have to be a whole bunch more poor people than there is rich people. It's just the way that the ratio has to work. You know, until we get rid of capitalism, that's when I don't have any suggestions of what system we need to replace with what or whatever, but all I'm saying is that capitalism is not the system that needs to be operated in if people want a fairer chance at some type of closing the wealth gap and having a fairer chance of, like, you know, gaining wealth and getting out of poverty. You know, like I said, it's just, capitalism is not going to help everybody. It's only gonna help only a small amount of people ever. Like, this is gonna, it doesn't matter how hard everybody tries. It doesn't matter, you know, like, if we get what is it, like a whole bunch of billionaires decide to give people everybody 100,000 or whatever. Like, it's just not gonna ever work out, because that's not, you can't have a whole, like, because that would make everybody almost wealthy, feel like they're wealthy, so they would have a chance. But that can't happen in capitalism. It doesn't happen like that at all. You know, there has to be always a whole bunch of poor people that rich people have to rule over. You know, it just does not work like that. Like I said, there always has to be that gap. So then, you know, I don't know how else to explain it or whatever, but there always has to be a certain gap in the system for it to work properly. It's not gonna work properly if everybody's rich. It just doesn't at all. It will not work like that. Everybody, there has to be more poor people than there is rich people, and that's just my take on it, honestly. Like, there has to be more poor people than rich people, unfortunately. I didn't make those rules. I hate living by those rules, but that's what the fuck it is, I guess. So let me go on ahead and pick up this order, because there's no street parking or whatever right now, unfortunately. I gotta walk down to the restaurant, but go ahead and pick up this order. I think it should be ready. Usually I don't have a problem with this restaurant, but I guess I'll get back to you guys later. The time right now is 8:49 p.m. June 2nd. It's Tuesday, 2026. I just want to touch on the last part of like the video. The word I was looking for, I guess at the time, was supply and demand. Where if there's too much supply of money in the system, we're gonna have a whole nother COVID, where now we have a crazy amount of inflation, and now nobody can afford anything, because at that point there was so much money in the system where it pretty much, like how I was saying, it equalized the playing field, where so many people had so much money to buy so much stuff, to where, you know, if they didn't inflate everything crazily out this universe, you know, the system would, I guess, technically collapse, because like I said, there can't be too many people with money. It just doesn't work for capitalism. It doesn't matter how hard everybody wants to work to hopefully everybody gets 100,000. It's just the system itself will not allow everybody to make 100,000. And if they did make everybody make 100,000, things would be so outrageously expensive, to where still the people that are at the top would make so much money. Like I said, it's the way that capitalism is set up. It's a rigged system. There will always and will always have to be poor people, a whole lot of poor people at the bottom, to make capitalism work, actually. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You could just study economics and supply and demand, and you let me know what you guys find out about it. But we're living in capitalism, and we operate on the supply and demand economics playing ground. So I mean, like I said, that's just what it is, honestly. Like I said, it's a really tiring system. I don't know honestly what system is perfect, and you know, if we did decide to leave capitalism alone, but capitalism is just not gonna work for us in the long run, especially if it's like this, where everybody at the bottom for sure doesn't have a fair chance, like how, you know, we're living now. Like, nobody at the bottom, you know, and at the bottom I don't mean like poor, I mean like even if you're middle class, you know, or lower class. If you're middle class or lower class, we're technically at the bottom, because we're not upper class. We're not the people that own the whole system. We're not the investors. We're not, you know, the corporations. We're not, you know, the people that own everything. We're not them. So, you know, if we're not them, we'll never win in a system that wasn't really made for, you know, consumers. Consumers, honestly, they're the test subjects, and we're the losers in this system. You know, and the winners are the people that make the things. You know, they make the rules. They make the things that we do consume. And that's how the whole system, you know, turns round and round or whatever. You know, you guys, if you guys know economics and study it or whatever, you guys would know how the system works. But my biggest point is that nobody wins except for the people at the top. That's trash there. Trash. Get on my screen. But nobody wins besides the people at the top. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to have to make it like a really sad like story or whatever, but sometimes that's what life feels like at these points in time, especially this point in time where, you know, like a whole lot of changes are happening, where there's a whole lot of AI and robots taking over jobs. There's less jobs in the world. Money is diminishing at a super fast rate. You know, people are homeless at a super fast rate. You know, homelessness is actually becoming a serious problem because it is increasing at a fast rate. I mean, it's not a good situation to kind of see at all. You know, I mean, I get it that there's been, you know, I guess a financial crisis back in '08 or whatever, and you know that happened. There's been a few other financial crises in America or whatever. But this is my first financial crisis. This is really my, you know, biggest like time in my life that I've been contributing to the economy or whatever, contributing to society and stuff, and you know, experience it as a Gen Z member. You know, it's a big thing because as one of the Gen Z members, I mean, it's hard to afford anything, unfortunately. You know, I mean, I'm not saying I want to get fed, you know, on a gold plate with a silver spoon or whatever, or a silver spoon or gold spoon on a silver plate, whatever you want to say. I'm not saying I want to be handed like what I want, but you know, the way that things are going right now, it's almost like it's almost impossible to kind of, this is trash. It's almost impossible to get ahead. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's sad, I guess. It's been really, really slow. Maybe like trash like this. You know, trash like this. I don't know why they keep grouping orders. I mean, like I said, I don't take grouped orders unless they're gonna pay me a good amount for it. I don't work for two people for a one person price. Like, those are one person prices and they want to group it together with two people. I'm like, no, you're not about to do that to me, bro. Like, because there's no way two people together only came up with $8 together to still go 10 miles, bro. There's no way that I'm doing that, bro. There's no way I'm doing that. Like, you guys are tripping. Like, no, there's bringing two people together would, no, we're not doing that at all. Like, simple math says no, that's not happening. Like I said, and then the more people that you're serving for those lower prices, or just the more people that you're serving whenever it comes to like those grouped orders and shit like that, you're raising the probability of something. This is trash right here. You're raising the probability of something going wrong. Like how I was saying earlier in the video, where I already had a customer that, you know, I had to shop for their order or whatever and stuff like that, but you know, especially like when you have two orders or whatever, a lot of times you just don't know. Sometimes they group a shop and pay with a pickup order, whatever. It'd be like weird stuff like that, or like it's two shop and pay orders, and then, you know, one customer stuff, they don't have half the order at the store that the customer requested. I'm like, bro, So it'd be crazy stuff like that. So you'd want to be compensated fairly or well for what they're trying to get you to do, like the job that they're trying to get you to do. You want to be compensated well for things like that. That's how I picture it. Because I've experienced enough setbacks in the apps to know, like, hey, I'm not. That's trash right there. $7 for no. Like I said, like these, bro, the apps and the customers together, they can come up with. They can put a better price together, bro. No, they're not. They're tripping, bro. They're playing around. They're playing in my face right now. They can come up with something better. I'm not doing shit like that, bro. I'm not. Like I said, they can put something together easily. Like usually I would work for 2 customers, especially if the miles are low. I'll do like 2 customers for like $15 or something like that, bro. That's for like, and then it has to be like less than like 2 miles or something like that. Like usually I'll do something like that, right? I've picked orders like that. This is garbage right here. But usually with 2 customers, I'd at least want wow. The homeless people out here, bro, on the streets, like they be crazy and they be looking at you crazy whenever, like they be doing the dumbest stuff out here in Atlanta, bro. They like the homeless people be like crossing the street when they know that they're not supposed to cross the street, like I don't understand. And they be looking at, like I said, they be looking at you like you're in the wrong. I'm like, bro, I get it, you're a pedestrian, you have almost the right of way, but I'm like, bro, like, come on, get out the street. Come on, bro. Like, you're playing in the street, you're playing with your own life. Like, you going ahead and you can play those dumb games and win a stupid prize. I mean, going ahead. I won't be the one who's like catching a case like that, but I'm just saying, I mean, somebody might, you know, and you might lose your life too at the same time. So, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, bro. Because like I said, these homeless people out here I'm not doing Target right now. No, I'm not doing Target right now. No, I'm not doing that. I don't care. But what's it called? What was I saying, bro? I don't even know. I lost my train of thought. Because like I said, these homeless people out here, bro, in Atlanta, they be so bold or whatever, bro. It's just like, wow. Like, you guys, I get it, man. Like, you know, sometimes there could be like really, really low points in life, but I mean, I guess, man, like if it's like that, I guess for some people, it's just like, okay, well, I wish you the best on that, you know. Just let it happen, I guess. But like I said, I'm not here to catch that case right now. I'm not here to catch that case. So you're gonna have to get out the street. Right now, driving around in the Atlanta area. This is garbage right here. Straight up garbage, buddy. I'm not working for $3. Nobody's working for $3, bro. Garbage. Like $4. Nobody's working for that. Like, come on now. Like, you guys are tripping. Tripping. $8 for $4. No, definitely not for Popeyes. Oh, hell no. No. That's not gonna work at all. That's not gonna work at all. No. And there's definitely a threshold. Oh, that's what I was saying too before. But there's definitely a threshold for Popeyes for sure. Nope, not working for 2 customers for that price. But usually for hell no. Usually for 2 customers, I would usually do no less than like $20 between 2 customers. Where, you know, at least somebody like. At least I could think that both customers are like doing is $10 per customer or whatever, and then still the miles would have to be like less than like 5 miles, maybe 6 miles or something like that. But like I said, between 2 customers, the price has to increase because I'm increasing, like I said, the probability that there's something gonna be wrong. Wait times, items not gonna be there when I'm doing shopping pay orders for certain customers that have, you know, those types of orders. You know, it's just like. I'm not, it's about like respecting my time and the customer respecting, you know, our times too at the same time. Cause like I said before, this is about convenience. Like you're not, like they're not the ones who's going out to shop for the orders, or they're not the ones who's going out to pick up their orders and stuff like that. If they were the ones to do that, then they would actually be at the restaurant for a pickup. They would actually be at the store for shopping for their own stuff, and they would probably save a whole lot more money than getting the stuff delivered. But you know, I guess there's not a lot of financially literate people, so you know, it's whatever. But like I said, I'm gonna stick to my roots of believing that Uber and DoorDash are a convenience-based service, which means that the customer is gonna have to pay almost top dollar. And I'm not saying that they need to pay top dollars for horrible service. I'm not in agreement with that at all. I think that if the customer still wants convenience and they're gonna pay top dollar, I believe that the customer needs to be serviced at high quality, just like however much that they're paying and stuff like that. You know, if they're paying, if they don't want to pay enough, I mean, then like I believe to not even accept to work with them or work for them, or however you want to put it. But if they're paying top dollar, like a good amount, like you're like, oh shit, nobody makes this an hour. Like I said, I believe that, you know, you should serve, you know, I should serve the customer to the best of my ability, and making sure that the customer is taken care of, because they're taking care of me at that point where, like I said, that they're paying me well and they're shelling out that much money, you know, for the service. I am in agreement with, like I said, taking care of the customer if the customer is taking care of you. It goes both ways. This is a mutual type of benefit, not a parasitic one. You know, not one person doesn't benefit and one person loses. I don't do that over here. I'm not for that type of system. Yeah, I only work if they want to bundle orders and stuff like that, like how they're trying to do right now, like bundle orders that are just straight trash right now. I'm not gonna accept the shit unless it's at a certain threshold. Like, this is trash right there. I'm not doing $22 for, it's at 24 miles, bro. That's crazy. It's still like under $1 a mile. You're working for pennies, bro. Do the math. The math is dollars divided by miles, right? So if the dollars is less than the miles, you're in a loss at that point. Like, you're working for pennies. If the dollars is more than the miles, then you're at a somewhat profit. It just depends on like however much profit you're in. But if the dollars is less than the miles, you're at a loss for sure. Like, so if you're doing $22 for 24 miles or 25 miles, you're at a loss for sure. You're starting out working for pennies. Like I said before, I don't want to work for pennies because that's not what the market trades. When we trade in the market, you trade in whole dollars. We trade in dollars. So $1 equals $1. I get it that, you know, the dollar is being inflated, so that means that, you know, it's not really worth as much as it was before. But at the same time, you know, when I see the number one does not equal 0.9. 1 does not equal 0.8. Like, that's not how that system works. 1 equals 1. 2 equals 2. Right? So when I work, I want to work for something that's worth what I'm working for. I'm not working for pennies at all. I'm working for dollars, not pennies. And good dollars at that. Like, if I want to trade my time for money, I'm going to work for what I feel that I am worth. I'm not worth pennies. I'm worth dollars. And I just have to choose how many dollars I feel that I'm worth. And if these customers don't want to pay anything because they're not shelling out dollars, you know, they want to shell out pennies, I'm not going to work with them. You know, it's not really like any hard feelings or whatever, you know, I guess. But like I said, you're just not going to get your order delivered by me, you know. I'll work with you if you're paying me, but if you're not paying me enough for my threshold, then I mean, I can't serve you. And I would want to serve you. Like, I would love to serve any other customers that want to, you know, do right by me, because I'm going to do right by them, you know. So once they get these numbers up, I mean, I wouldn't mind serving them. Nope, that's trash. I don't work for that low of an amount. That's trash. I'm not doing that at all. Like I said before, there's a certain threshold where I'm not, like, anything under $10, but even at $10, bro, like I said, customers still don't even appreciate you. So I have to somewhat raise my standard, because like I said, it's every time, whenever I think that something's going well or whatever, you know, it's usually whenever, like, if I would have accepted that $7 order, bro, a lot of the times, not every time, but a lot of the times, whenever I do it, and I try to be nice, I'm like, okay, cool, well, it's $2 a mile, it's low paying, but it's $2 a mile or something like that, bro. Every time a lot of times when I do it, there's always an issue. This is garbage. I'm not working for 2 customers, bro. What is this? Okay, now this right here is what I wanted. Like, why is this so hard to do? This is nice right here. I could do that. I could do that. It's like, I don't understand. I have to get over. But it's just, I don't understand why the apps like to play with you or whatever, bro. Like, it's not that hard to freaking just pay me. All I had to do was just pay me, bro. Like, it's not that hard. I really do hate Uber and DoorDash, bro. I really do. Come on, go, buddy. What are you doing? Like, some people don't know how to freaking drive at all. Like, straight up. Yeah, we just start the miles tracker. What the fuck? Okay, well, I'm gonna shop for this order or whatever, and I'll get back to you guys later. Trash. The time right now is 10:04 p.m. June 2nd. It's Tuesday, 2026. I just finished that CVS order with little setback, not much. Customer did give me a wrong address, but it's cool. They compensated me to go to the new address, which I like a whole lot. Like, this is what I'm saying when I'm saying, like, customers appreciating you, like, as, you know, like, for the service that you provide, and then also just taking accountability for also, like, whenever there's mess ups. Like, so, like, whenever I mess up, I take accountability of, like, oh man, I messed up. Like, if I forgot something or whatever, you know, I'll compensate the customer because I feel like it was my fault on my end because I forgot something. You know, I've done that before. It's just the way that I do business. If I had a business, that's what I would do for customers, especially if I know that it's my fault. I'm gonna have to take accountability and take responsibility for like my mess ups. And you know, the customer, like I said, that gave me the wrong address for the CVS order, they took accountability for it, and they compensated me extra for it, you know, and I'm super appreciative for that. Like I said, because it's the same thing that I would do for my customer. I've done it multiple times for customers, and I have no problem with it because, like I said, a lot of times the customers will show appreciation, or they will reimburse me for simple costs like that too. You know, like a lot of times it just comes down to people just appreciating what you have to offer, you know, and reciprocating. I'm big on reciprocation. You know, because if we're not working together, then I don't think we need to work together, you know. That's just my ideology, you know. Like, I'm not gonna try to work with people that doesn't want to work with me at all. Like, that's not. I don't like to put my energy to things like that. I believe in, like, the laws of attraction and stuff like that. So if something is pulling against me, I'm not gonna go and try to chase it, you know, even though it's pulling against me. I'm not gonna. That's not how I work with energy. This is trash right here. Energy is supposed to flow fluidly like water, you know, just wherever the new path takes it, you know, that's where it's gonna have to go. I'm not gonna force my energy to work with people that don't want to work with me at all. You know, I'm gonna have to cut that path short. I'm gonna have to take another path somehow. Because it's not gonna work like that. But yeah, like I said, it just comes down to that. Like, just having customers. This is trash. Having customers that just appreciate you for what you had to offer, you know, and then, you know, just on the business end, just appreciating customers for, you know, compensating you fairly, you know, and just doing good business on, you know, on both ends of, you know, making sure the customer's taken care of. Yeah, that's just what I believe in. I'm gonna keep on saying that. It is a convenient service. That's also what I believe. So, you know, everything is conveniently done. I mean, I don't know what else to say on that at all. It's just, it makes it easy when you have customers that are on the same wavelength as you, like, and that's just on a business level. But then you can have just like an everyday level, and that's what I was talking about before in my video, where it's like, you know, whatever you take from your business, you're gonna, you know, probably have in your everyday life, and then whatever you have in your everyday life is probably gonna mesh into your business life, you know. This is trash too, but it's just having people that are on the same wavelength, and, you know, wanting to work with you. That's the only way that I think that things are gonna work. It's not gonna work if you have people that are just not ready to kind of mingle like that, you know, like they're not ready to work together, you know. And I can go with business, I can go with relationships, any type of relationship, whether it's intimate relationship, it's a family relationship, you know, a friend, platonic relationship, you know. It doesn't matter. If two people are not trying to work together, or two things are not trying to work together, then it's not going to work at all. It's not going to work at all. And that's what I truly believe. If you go through life and trying to just do what I say that, you know, is not really going to work for you, which is try to work something out that isn't working, it's just going to bite you in the butt in the end. So, you know, sometimes I feel that way about, you know, Uber and DoorDash, you know, where it's like I'm trying to make something work that isn't working. But I guess the way that I do it is like I work with the things that do make it work, you know. I guess I'd say, like, I work with the things that make it work, even though a lot of times, you know, the apps they don't make a lot of the situation work. But the way that I function around it is by doing the things that, like I said, that make it work. So, you know, like I said, I'm working with the customers that appreciate me, and I'm showing my appreciation to those same customers. You know, I'm not gonna serve everybody. I'm not here taking every order and trying to, you know what I'm saying, break my back for every customer, the $3 customers, the free customers. I haven't seen any free customers at all, but, you know, I'm quite sure that there's gonna be there if DoorDash was offering those free charity runs that they were offering back in 2021. I'm quite sure there would be a lot of customers on that same boat doing the free rides, the charity rides. Like I said, back in 2021, I wish I would have did the screen records, because like I said, there was a whole lot of rides that was like, and maybe people in Atlanta, they probably know about it. You know, if you guys are out of here in Georgia, you guys have seen, you know, the charity runs where, like, back in 2021, like I said, where there was offers where literally it was $0.00 to go 10 miles, 20 miles. It was crazy. Like I said, charity runs. I've never seen that before in my life, except in 2021, and I haven't ever seen another offer like that since 2021. But, you know, I'm quite sure they're still out there. I'm actually going, I think, the opposite way, right? Yeah, I gotta go the other way. Yeah, we're gonna shut you up, buddy. No. I thought I just declined that, bro. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, no means no. Like, when I say no to a bad offer, that does not mean try to offer it to me again. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is how you catch a case. No means no. I don't understand. No means no, Uber. No means no. No means no. That's our new chant. Like, no means no. Like, when I say no, that means no. That does not mean yes. DoorDash. When I say no, that means no. That does not mean yes. So when I say no to an offer, that means no. Uber. When I say no to an offer, that means no. Please. Man. Shit just be throwing me, bro. Like, I swear. Shit just be throwing me. It's like, man, I like I said, you guys have seen that. They offer me the same shit over again, and they keep on doing dumb stuff like that. I'm like, bro, I just said no. No does not mean yes. Like, this is no. Yeah, I just want to catch you guys up again with, you know, whatever is going on. Just share this video specifically because you know, well, I don't make videos very often, but I feel like whenever there's a situation that comes up that, you know, I probably need to speak about, which is like specifically the customers that I deal with, and I guess just sharing that knowledge with everybody here that wants to listen to me. You know, just sharing, you know, my knowledge, my experience on like how I deal with certain situations or whatever. Like if I could help somebody else, you know, get through that bad experience or whatever by them making different changes, then I'd like to do that. Hopefully my videos are that solution. But like I said, situations like I'm dealing with customers that aren't appreciative and they like to play with your time and play in your face and stuff like that. Like I said, there's just a certain threshold that you just have to always kind of like that shit right there. Like, I'm not doing that at all. That's crazy. You'd be wild to accept something like that. But like I said, there has to be a threshold that you have to keep. Like, you have to have a certain standard, or else you're gonna find that there's customers that's gonna play in your face and they're not gonna care about it at all. They can think they wouldn't think twice about it at all. They're gonna, as long as they still get whatever they wanted or whatever, they're not gonna think twice about it at all. They're gonna, like I said, show a fake smile and shut the door right in your face. I've had that happen multiple times, like I said, with the customers that, you know, I've served that really didn't need to be served by me, but I just had to be nice, you know. But I learned my lesson a lot of the times whenever I serve those types of customers. I learned my lesson, and I'm like, man, every time. Well, not every time, but when it does happen, it usually happens whenever I have the lower paying customers. Yeah, so I'm gonna I guess be around, I guess, looking for orders here because it's super slow. This is garbage here. I'm not touching alcohol. $11 for 9 miles. That's way too far. Like, I had to do that for like $20 easy. Like, I'm not touching. No, we're not doing that, buddy. We're not doing that at all. No, you gotta miss me with that for sure. Yeah. And this is glitching as usual. Yeah, that's what I want to kind of share for now. I'll catch you guys later. Trash. The time right now is 9:16 p.m. and it's Thursday, June 4th, 2026. If you guys ever haven't heard of the song "What's Happening, Baby" by Rob 49 and Lil Wayne, this whole Rob 49 album is straight fire, but like this song with Lil Wayne is, well, we already know that Lil Wayne always federally just rules the whole album, like just no hands down. Like Lil Wayne, put Lil Wayne on any track and he turns the track, and it could be one track that Lil Wayne was put on, and then he could turn that one track into, now that's his album now. Like this is now Wayne's album. It's not even Rob 49, but Rob 49, like this album right here is super fire. This song right here makes it seem like this album was inspired by Wayne, straight up. But yeah. Anyway, besides that, yeah, definitely go listen to that song. That shit, especially if you got like a nice sounding system in your car, or like a nice sounding like system in general, go listen to that song. That song is super fun. But yeah, today, it's Thursday, is June the 4th. And it just seems like it's just, I don't know, sometimes it can seem like it's a reciprocal, not a reciprocal process, but what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a cyclical, because it's definitely not reciprocal. They don't reciprocate the money whenever I need it. So it's definitely not reciprocated at all. But it's a cyclical process of them playing games every time, every month. It's just they just send me straight shit offers. They're not, some odd reason they're not trying to show it now, but they just were. Hold on. Let me open this shit back up. I gotta always refresh the apps because I don't know what it is, but I always have to like close out the apps, reopen it back up, or like go offline, go back online to, I guess, readjust myself into the algorithm again, because they stopped sending me offers after a while or whatever, or it'll be like hella forever before they send me offers, and then when they do send me offers, it's just straight shit offers or whatever. So I always have to like, fucking finagle the algorithm by going offline and swiping off on the app and stuff like that. It just be so annoying sometimes, bro. It really does. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes it's a cyclical process of just doing what these apps are saying. And my thing is, like I said, I'm not doing that at all. Nope, definitely not doing that. But I like I said, I'm not complaining at all. Well, I don't feel like I'm complaining, but some other people might feel like I'm complaining in my videos. And I mean, you know what? Honestly, we live in America. Well, I live in America, and whoever lives in America, and knowing that America is inspired by freedom, quote unquote freedom. If you guys believe that as Americans we have a whole bunch of freedom. We have enough freedom to do whatever, kinda. But as a free American, you guys have the right to have you guys' opinions if you guys feel like I'm complaining or whatever. But I like to bring the realization of awareness in my videos. So, while you guys, like I said, might think that I'm complaining, I feel like I'm bringing just awareness and showing you what I deal with on a daily basis, or whenever I do deal with the apps, what I deal with. Like I said before, you guys seen in my most recent video, I was posting that, I was somewhat winning some, with some offers being offered to me. And, sometimes it's like that, but it's super rare. They pick certain days out the month, but every other day out the month, it's just straight garbage. And I guess some people might feel as though also, and I think I stated this in like a previous video like months ago, or maybe that I made years ago or something like that, but some people might feel like, as a delivery driver, courier, that's trash. Whatever you want to call it, for some odd reason, like in the service industry, some people don't appreciate you, even though we're the people that provide the service for the service that you're looking for. So if you're looking to be served food, I mean, you have waiters that give you your food. Trash. If you want your food delivered or whatever, you have drivers that drive you your food. I don't know what it is, but some people not like not accepting the service, but like appreciating the service, especially like when somebody's giving you good service at that too. Some people might like do appreciate good service and stuff, but not all people do appreciate that good service. And sometimes you can see that in the aspiring great offers that you see across my screen, like the $4 for like $17, or like this right here. This is a great aspiring offer. It's so good. This offer is actually so good that I have to decline. It was so good that I had to decline it. Like, imagine that. It was so good that I had to say no. She's just too funny sometimes. That's even better. Wow, that's gonna pay my light bill this month. Oh my God, $2. That's crazy. That's gonna pay my light bill. I will have another light bill for another. Well, they're actually gonna send me a late notice, so I'm gonna have another light bill the next day after it's still due. So, I mean, it's just like crazy shit like that, bro. I'm like, bro, but like I said, there's some people that just don't appreciate the service, and they look down on you, like, if you're a delivery driver or something like that, they say you could do something better with your life or whatever. But some people don't understand that, some people have different backgrounds of, they came from doing different certain professions or certain real jobs, like I wasn't always a driver and stuff. I did a whole bunch of other different things. I was mainly a lot of times in retail or whatever, but it was still customer service, so I have plenty of experience in customer service. This job or this industry as a contractor now just further what's the word? It further initiates what I already know as, customer service. And, over the years I've actually worked on it and gotten better with communicating with my customers better and, making sure they're definitely taken care of and making sure, I do take care of my customers. And over the years I've, gotten better in knowing, what customers I do want to take care of and, how I gauge who is appreciative of what type of service that they're looking for, and I make sure that I reciprocate that. This is trash. I don't work. Trash. I'm not doing that. But I'm heavy on reciprocation. Like I said, if you're paying me like shit, I'm not gonna do shit for you. You feel me? So it's just that reciprocation. I'm not about to do that at all. I'm not about to be treated like I'm less than, because like I said before, if you don't appreciate the service, then hopefully you get somebody that just does not appreciate you as a customer either, because that's the way that energy kind of works, and what I've also been saying before is this is a convenience service, just like any other service that you don't provide yourself is convenience. Like when you go to a restaurant and people cook your food for you, that's convenience. When you order your food and get it delivered, that's convenience. Different types of services that you don't do for yourself is convenience. And if you don't provide it yourself, you're gonna have to pay a price, and hopefully the person that you're paying to do the service for you is good at what they do. And hopefully they have a money back guarantee type policy. But like I said, it is convenience because you're not doing it for yourself. That's just what a lot of people have to realize. It's just garbage. But yeah, I have to state that, and I'm probably gonna keep on stating that in my videos, because some people just don't understand that, like, you're paying for a service that you're not providing yourself, and it's convenient. And what I like to think about is like how business operates to tackle an inconvenience and then make it convenient. So every business model is based off of an inconvenience that has turned into a convenience somehow to fit everybody's life. And like I said before also in my videos, I don't agree with the whole fact of tipping first before you know the service and stuff like that, but luckily a lot of times, you can dispute that or whatever, and you can, reduce your money or whatever, especially on Uber, because there's a lot of customers that like to scam on there. And that's another thing I want to talk about too, is the customers on Uber. For some odd reason, like a lot of customers, they don't need, like, I don't know what it is, but Uber's platform is definitely janky for sure. But nope, this is garbage too. If you don't appreciate the service, then you don't need to be using it at all. Or if you're not, keen to what convenience provides, and you don't feel that you're being conveniently served, whatever, then don't use the service. A lot of times the worst case scenario is that you're never gonna get your food. I don't know if customers have seen before or experienced, but a lot of times whenever you don't tip, there was just DoorDash made they put out a nice little message to their customers, on the platform or whatever, that if you don't tip, you might not get your order in a timely manner. But I might even go a step further and say that you might not get your order at all, if you don't tip. So this is trash. So yeah, if you're waiting for hours and you didn't tip at all, not doing that either. But yeah, if you didn't tip at all, you're probably not going to get your order. It's going to be sitting there. It's going to be cold right at the restaurant, or somebody is going to help themselves because, you didn't appreciate them. So, they're just, and I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but, they're going to take your order and then, help themselves, because I guess you don't want to help them. So I guess that's just the way that works. But about the Uber customers, I had some Uber customers that I served. I brought their order to them yesterday. I think it was last week. Yep, this is garbage. But I brought the orders to them last night, and the crazy thing about it is the order was paying it was $20 for about 10 miles. So, paid me my $2 a mile, and like I said, I only serve certain customers at a certain threshold, and it was pretty slow. So I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna do it. So I picked up 2 orders for those 2 customers. Like I said, $20 going 10 miles, right? And the crazy thing about it is, I don't know how Uber allows this stuff on their platform, but for some odd reason, I had 2 customers at the same time with spam numbers, right? So the first customer didn't want to answer the phone, right? I was like, okay, cool. I've had times where there's certain customers that do have these fake numbers that they put on the platform or whatever for some odd reason. I don't understand, like I said, how Uber allows it, but they do. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm like I said before, I'm okay with the fact of, having issues with the probability of serving multiple customers, at the same time. That's what liability that I will take on, but I will only do it for a certain price, a certain threshold. I won't do it for $7 for 2 customers going 5 miles. I don't care. I'm not working for that number at all. But like I said, so the first customer didn't want to answer the phone or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. It made my life hard because I had to wait all this time until on Uber specifically, I had to wait 8 minutes, to take my picture or whatever. So, it was just inconvenient, right? So I was like, okay, cool. Let me go and do this second order. Second customer only wanted text, right? And then, I had to call them when I reached the destination, but they were texting, and I was like, what the fuck? You were just texting, so that means that, you can definitely get these calls, right? So I get to the destination or whatever. I try to call them to see where they want to meet, because some of the notes these customers write, bro, it just be so contradictory. Like, the customer was like, leave at the front door of the office, but then also meet outside. Like, it was a whole bunch of different weird stuff. I'm like, bro, why can't y'all make up you guys' mind? And so I'm like, I'm trying to contact this customer or whatever by phone and asked them, like, hey, your directions is kind of, contradictory. Is there a place that you want to meet at or whatever? No response. I'm like, but they were just texting me. So I don't understand why you want to play with your food like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why you were just texting me. And then, I'm texting the customer or whatever, seeing, hey, I'm here at the delivery address, but there's a timer that's, is going. So, I'm just trying to set up, a meat area for the customer to get the trash, to get their food, right? And again, like I said, this customer was just texting me before I got to the delivery address. So I'm like, bro, why do you guys do this stuff? I'm like, all I have to say is, these customers better be happy that I'm not one of the untrustworthy delivery drivers that will steal your food. I'm not that driver at all. I'm gonna leave your food somewhere. If it's outside, somewhere, whatever, I hope you get it before someone else does. But if you wanna play dumb games, then you can win pretty dumb prizes. So like I said, if you don't want your food, guess what? I'm gonna leave it somewhere. I'm gonna take my picture, for liability of, the platform, and, if somebody wants to ask questions or whatever, Uber or whatever, something like that, they want to ask questions, well, I have a picture there. I try to contact the customer. I got a little paper trail of, what I did. I try to talk to the customer didn't want to answer the phone. down. So, you know, here's your order out here. Hopefully, like I said, if another person gets it, or if an animal gets it, a raccoon or something like that, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's up for takes when you like I said, when you want to play dumb games, you win stupid prizes. But you know, yet again, that customer didn't want to answer the phone. The timer ran out. I had to leave it outside too. I'm like, okay, bro. You know, I don't know, man. I get so tired of the Uber customers just playing games. This is trash. I'm just like, why can't you guys, like, I don't know, man. But I got paid for it decently, so. But I don't know if anybody else experiences these issues where, you know, the customers like to play games with you or whatever, and they think that it's funny. I'm like, bro, like I said, you better be happy that I'm not the person that's going to take your order, like take the picture and then take your order still at that, because there are some people that are grimy like that and they will take your shit. I'm not that person at all. I care about the money, so I'm going to get paid for delivering your food. And like I said, it's free. It's a free for all. If you don't want your food, it's right there wherever I left it. So, you know, blah blah. Yeah, it's straight shit right now, bro. I'm in Midtown, as you guys can see, in Atlantis. Almost my favorite area, but I don't know, bro. It's been real fucking slow. And I'm just like, man, I don't know what it is and what it's gonna take, but like the fact of this is trash. The fact that, you know, gig work like this is slow as hell, and whenever you're looking for more contracts and there's no contracts that's being offered at all, jobs aren't hiring, you know, and then the jobs that are hiring, the pay is just straight shit. So I'm like, bro, I'm better off still struggling doing this crappy shit instead of going to a job that I'm gonna have to pay taxes on the money, and they're gonna have to reduce my income even more because I'm paying taxes on the shit. You know, I don't really have much control on money at a job because they're gonna tax the hell out of me over there. You know, unless I claim exempt or whatever, but I don't have any reasons to kind of claim exempt because I don't have no dependents at all. You know, but with being a contractor, I have expenses, so now I get to write off shit. You know, so that's my dependent is my business. You know, so that's more of like a write-off. I guess, you know, it helps exempt me from taxes. You know, depending on whatever I write off. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what it is, but you know, it's getting really tough a lot of times, like searching for wherever the income is gonna come from, and you know, like time is running out or whatever, or you're low on time because your bills are stacking up, and you know, you're starting to get into a pinch by adding more debt. You're using more credit cards or more credit or something like that, you know, to supplement for the cash flow that you're not getting at all. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's pretty tough. That's all I can kind of say. It's tough, but as you guys can see, the rates are just straight shit. And like I said, I don't work for just any rate, because a lot of times whenever I do decide to be nice, or whenever I, you know, say to myself that, oh, well, I need the money to do this or whatever, whenever I compromise my standards, boom, I get a customer that doesn't appreciate me, you know, sometimes treats me like trash. But there's a specific customer that, this is nice right here. That's nice right there. I could do that. That's fine, bro. That's fine. That's like $8 a mile. I don't even know where that's even. But a lot of times, you know, the customers that I compromise for or whatever, you know, they don't, a lot of times they just don't appreciate you, you know, and like what you have to offer. So I'm like, you know what, I need to stick to, like I said, a certain standard, and it's actually helped weed out a lot of the problems that I can avoid. And that's what another message that I was explaining, that, you know, just make sure that you stick to a standard, because like I said, once you compromise your standard, you're inviting a whole lot of issues and problems that you did not have to face before. So you know, that's just my personal recommendation or opinion from my experience. But you know, if you've had better experience with making compromises, and you know, for some odd reason you're just getting straight angel customers, you know, that you worship the ground that you on, that's fine too. I mean, I applaud that. I wish nothing but the best for anybody that does get customers like that, but it doesn't work like that for me. Yeah, this order, like I said, is fine. I'm about to go and pick it up or whatever, and I'll catch you guys later. The time right now is 9:53 p.m. Thursday, June 4th, 2026. So I find that there's a commonality whenever I get certain orders, like that one order, like it was the Wagaya for $8 for 0.8 of a mile, so not even a mile away at all. And it be those orders that are too good to be true that always seem to have problems. They always give me problems, literally every time. And the problem with this order was the customer, I guess, had placed this order. I'm not doing that. The customer had placed this order at a time when the restaurant had closed their kitchen or whatever, so they never received the order. And I'm like, bruh, it be stuff like that that's just like, man, the only order that I would take, or one of the orders that I would take that, you know, I'll be okay with, is an issue. It's always an issue. I'm like, bruh, come on. You literally gotta be kidding me. I can't catch a break at all. Especially on the slow nights. It happens especially on the slow nights. Like the nights when they're just giving out bad fucking rates, and then you finally find something that's like a rate that you can't really skip over. This is garbage. You're like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty good. I can't really say no to that. Like, you know, not like the other rates where it's like, oh, it's so bad that I have to say no to that. Like, you know, like the joking type shit. But when there's rates that's actually good, like 0.8 of a mile, and then you're getting paid $8 to deliver it, bro, I'm like, okay, yeah, that works for me, like all day. Especially when there's no traffic or whatever, that works for me. But $8 for 0.8 of a mile, I might have to think twice about it whenever there's traffic. But still, like, that's a really, really good rate. I mean, I can't really beat that at all. Like, that's a really good rate. But like I said, it's always an issue whenever it's slow as hell and then there's just nothing but bad rates. And that's exactly what I'm experiencing. Like, it's just the slowness and then the bad rates, and then once I get a good rate, boom, there's an issue. It happens every time. Like, there's a thing where it's like out here in Atlanta specifically, I don't know if maybe it happens in other states, but there's like, especially on like slow nights also, like you'll see orders that'll pop up for like $38 or $40 or whatever, and like I said, beautiful miles, like 2 miles or something like that, like $40 for 2 miles, and you're like, there's no fucking way that the system, the algorithm is giving me this order. There's always an issue with those orders every time, and especially like when you're declining all night long and you can't find nothing, and then randomly they pop up with a $40 and with 2 miles of an order. Like, you have literally a 1 out of 10 chance, 2 out of 10 chance, if I want to be generous, of that order actually being okay. This is fine right here. That's more than okay. But usually those orders right there are straight like baiting trips. Like they bait you into some shit with those. So let's start tracking that. I need to reduce this brightness because that shit hurts my eyes a little bit. I already got the eye shield on, but so this one's actually pretty decent though. This rate is actually good, but like I said, they be like, and then also because the drivers, they don't report the issue of like trying to actually get it canceled, because as a driver you can't cancel the order. You can only cancel the fact that, like, you know, you being the driver for that order or whatever, you being assigned to the order. That's the only thing you can do is remove yourself from that order. but only customer service or the customer can cancel the order or whatever. And I'm like, and a lot of times it just be annoying because, like I said, those orders that are a little bit too good to be fucking true, nobody cancels those shit. So then, you know, there's multiple drivers, you know, because especially when the order is like stolen already, and then there's like 6 drivers that go to like the same restaurant multiple times and shit. And I'm like, bro, why can't somebody just call to get the shit canceled? Like, why is it so hard, bro? Why? You know, or like at certain times when like the restaurant didn't receive the order or whatever, why can't somebody just call to cancel it? And then it's on me to cancel it because of the fact that I'm the only one who calls. I'm like, bro, man, this should just be so annoying sometimes. And like, my thing is like, when I start my service, bro, if I do decide to start my own courier service, it's gonna be straight up like nothing but like, I have to make a minimum of $50 per order. It doesn't matter how far I'm going. It's gonna be, well, it is gonna matter how far I'm going, but it's gonna be a standard fee of $50. So it doesn't matter if you're 0.8 of a mile, if you're a mile, 2 miles or whatever, it's $50 standard, bro. Like, that's what my ideal service is gonna be. Cause I'm like, I'm so tired like dealing with the inconveniences and shit like that, you know. You know, like I said, I'm the driver that I don't steal orders, so you know that's what you would also be paying for, is you're making sure that you are getting your order. Your order is gonna be high, it's gonna be ready, it's gonna be, you know, fully intact. You know, I mean, but I have to be getting paid for the service. You know, I don't want to be providing a white glove service and being paid like I'm wearing, you know, the powdered nylon gloves. You know, I'm not wearing the powdered nylon gloves and then providing a Michael Jackson white glove service. I'm not doing that at all. You know, like, I'm not doing that, bro. Like, that's weird. You know, but yeah, I'm about to shop for this order or whatever. Hopefully they fucking got what the customer wants, bro, because it shit is irritating for real. You know, like I said, that's my thing. The only thing I have to do is just get customers to actually pay me for that, and then I can pretty much solve my problem there if there's a customer that wants to pay me for that type of service that I have to offer. You know, but yeah, like I said, I'm kind of tired of like having customers that don't appreciate, you know, the service that we offer, and just the little inconveniences, and you know, drivers stealing orders, which also affects my money and stuff like that. So I'm like, I can't even get the money because somebody already stole the order. They already stole my money, you know. They stole my money and the customer's money, you know. So like I said, it's just inconveniences like that. I'm like, if customers were to do business with me, that would be eliminated, you know. I don't know, I always believe that like it's about quality and not quantity. And Uber and all the other businesses, all the, like, especially corporate, they believe in quantity. They could care less about the quality. The quality can be rearranged later, but they care about what's it called, scaling, and you know, the most profitable way to do something or whatever. That's all they care about. But they could care less about if the service is actually good or not. Like, as long as you're paying for the shit, I mean, they'll serve it to you. They can care less. But my thing is, I actually care about the service I provide, you know. And I think that that's the good thing about doing business with small businesses. As long as, like I said before, as long as they know how to do their job, they know how to coordinate their business, they're actually serving the customer the way that, you know, the customer feels like, you know, they feel appreciated, and you know, the business is providing some type of value to the customer, then I mean, I'm all for it. You know, charge whatever price that you want to charge, honestly, for real. You have a certain, you know, demographic that you're looking for. I mean, you know, not everybody's price is gonna fit everybody's pockets. So, and I believe that, you know, like, I believe that if you're making 30,000, you know, if you're making less than 100,000, or you're not even, or not even 30 or 100,000, if you're not at the millionaire level, billionaire level, I don't feel that people should be wearing designer. You know, like, there's no reason for you to give those corporations all your money like that. I just don't think that at all, because they're not going to give anything back to you guys at all. I mean, they're charging you guys top dollar for their stuff. But I just don't believe that their products are for people like the everyday people. You know, maybe you want nice things or whatever, but sometimes I feel like you can find nice things for a lower price, like, or you can find nice hidden gems, I guess I want to say, you know, and I guess I'm relating that to like small businesses rather than doing business with, you know, large corporations that, like I said, only care about quantity and not quality at all. They can care fucking less about what they serve. If they serve you a raw meal, as long as you'll pay for it, they'll serve it to you, you know. But yeah, that's what I personally believe. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shop for this order. I guess I'm about to be there at the Kroger in like 2 minutes, it looks like, and I'll get back to you guys later. The time right now is 10:27 p.m. It's Thursday, June 4th, 2026. I just finished doing that Kroger run. It was somewhat decent. Kroger, yet again, they didn't have you know, what the customer wanted, so I had to substitute it. But as usual, it's always hard to get in contact with some of my customers for some odd reason. And then tonight, because it's a slow night and then nothing is going according to plan, not really according to plan, but it's a slow night, and then it's just like, and it's just going by a little bit slower and so much more stressful because, like, well, the restaurants don't have the food, and then the apps aren't paying anything, and then the customers that, you know, I do accept to work with today just aren't trying to really work with me. And I'm like, man, I'm just like, yo, this is just, man, I hate these days where it's like, it's stressful, and then I have like customers that just don't want to work with me at all. They're making my life a little bit harder. And I'm like, bro, it's already hard that I can't get whatever you want. And now you're making my life hard because I'm trying to make your life a little bit easier. And I'm like, man, so I guess sometimes it be like that, right? You know, like I said, business is about an inconvenience and making it a convenience, and I guess that's what it is. Trash. Making an inconvenience into a convenience, and you know, I guess it's just a part of the game. You know, it's an inconvenience to me, but it's a convenience to whoever requests the service. So, yeah, like I said, I need to have my own freaking service, and hopefully I can figure out how to get my own customers, because, you know, this is just not gonna freaking cut it at all. Like I said, I need a standard price where I know that I'm providing a service. Maybe I'd say that this is a luxury service. Like, getting your stuff delivered to you is a luxury service. You know, like, especially when you have the option to go pick it up yourself, you can still place your order. That's not really a luxury service. You can place an order, but deciding on however you receive your order, whether it's you picking up your order or you know, getting your order delivered, I feel like once you select the delivery option and get your order delivered, that's when you touch into the luxury realm, because now you're asking for a luxury service. You know, you're asking for a convenient service. You know, and sometimes it's not always perfect, but like I said, it's a convenient service where you don't have to do nothing besides pay and hope that whoever is serving you is actually good at their job. And that's what I'm all for. Like, the people that, you know, whatever you pay for, hopefully the service is good. If it's not, hopefully you get a refund, or you just never go back to that business and you leave a bad review or whatever. That's just my opinion on that. anything, I guess, extravagant, I just said no to this. Like, that's trash. I'm not expecting anything extravagant, but, you know, if I could get something that's paying just something a lot better than what they're offering me now, like, I can't do nothing with these whack ass rates, bro. $8 for, what was that, like 7 miles or 8 miles or something like that, bro. I don't travel that far for that price. Like, I'm not doing that. Get somebody else to do it and then double it. So, you know, if you're not gonna pay me, pay somebody else fairly well, bro. Like, $11, 11 miles, I'm not doing it at all. I'll do that for $21. Like, straight up, I'll do that for $21, bro. But with my service, I would do it for like $50. You know, you got, if you're willing to pay $50 or whatever standard, I'm cool with that. There is a threshold, you know, like I was thinking around, you know, like anything less than 25 miles is like $50, and anything over 25 miles is like 75. You know, it's just gonna be in an increment that's gonna be profitable, but also at the same time, you know, I'm gonna be providing a luxury service where you're gonna get your food. You know, it's not gonna get stolen. I'm not that type of driver. You're gonna get, you know, timely, accurate updates as long as, you know, I know as, you know, your driver, as, you know, your courier, however you want to say it. As long as I know what's all going on, I'll share those updates with the customer. You know, I know a lot of people don't communicate with the customer, and a lot of my customers have told me that, you know, they don't get no communication about their order, and that's, you know, what also affects the service is communication, just knowing what is all going on. And, you know, I personally try my best to communicate with my customers. You know, I feel like communication is a big key in how you keep a customer or how you lose a customer. A lot of times, and like I said before, I could do that too. That's fine. That's $2 a mile. That's fine. But a lot of times, like I said before, however you do business is how you live your actual real life. You know, so if you do bad business, that means you're pretty much a bad person in real life too. If you do good business, then you're probably a good person in real life. You know, but it mirrors. It mirrors. It definitely mirrors. So, you know, and that's what people have to understand, that, you know, everything happens in patterns, and however somebody, and it starts at home, like, so, and however somebody does something one way in their life, they're gonna do it in every other way in their life. You know, like I said, so if you do bad business, you're probably a bad person to other people in real life, like, you know, or if you know, like I say, if you're good to people and you do good business, you're probably a good person to people in real life. You know, like outside your business life. That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm about to shop for this CVS order and, you know, make I guess this money. Hopefully they have everything that the customer wants, because tonight has been just somewhat stressful. Like I said, being that it's slow and then the rates are pretty shitty. And that's what also hurts, like, really, really bad, which is like the shitty rates along with a slow night at the same time. So you don't really have, they're not giving you much options, much leeway to have an option. I'm like, bro, all I know is that I'm not working for shitty rates like that, bro. That's all I know. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna shop for this order and I'll get back to you guys later. The time right now is 10:53 p.m. Thursday, June 4th, 2026. I just finished that CVS run, and fortunately they had everything that the customer wanted, which is sometimes it's a once in a lifetime thing. where I don't have to backtrack. And then also, I think that the miles were shorter than what they said. I think it was like they said 4.4 miles, but we got it done in 4 miles. So sometimes Uber's freaking system, and that's why I would say, like, you might want to use a mileage tracker app or something like that, because sometimes they be off with the mileages, and sometimes it'd be more miles, sometimes it'd be less. So I mean, if it's less miles, then I guess you could say it's more profit for you, because that just means, you know, that the money kind of stretches more because you did less work. Just depending on, like, if you didn't have to, like, shop, or, you know, like, and things were missing, or you didn't have to wait at the restaurant for, like, a long period of time, and then that eats into your money too. But if everything went according to plan, and then, you know, you still got the job done in, like, a timely manner, then, you know, it's more profit on your end, you know. Yeah, with this one job, I mean, everything went well, and like I said, they had, CBS had everything that the customer wanted, and just dropped it off not too long ago. Pretty simple, pretty easy, in and out, honestly. So I can't even complain, honestly, for real. This is DoorDash. It's not offering me nothing right now, so that's just getting on my nerves, I guess. Like, and then when they do offer me something, it's just straight shit. And it's like, bro, I'm not trying to work for pennies right now, bro. I have still bills to pay, and you guys are still trying to pay me like I don't live in America, like I'm not in America. It's just like, maybe you guys have some people from overseas that are working for you guys, and, you know, maybe they're okay with the wage overseas being like this, but in America we can't survive off of, you know, as a driver, you know, we can't survive off these wages. And a lot of people will argue that, you know, DoorDash and Scroober were not meant to be full-time, they were meant to be part-time. Well, a lot of people are actually making a whole lot of money doing this full-time. Some people in some regions actually still make enough money monthly to afford their bills full-time. And it just happens to be in certain regions, just like even with certain regions, like I mean, you can literally have a real full-time job and it still not be able to afford your full bills. You feel me? So, like, I don't think that you can make an argument about what it is that, you know, people shouldn't or should be doing or whatever. You know, if it makes money, it makes money. But again, it goes back to the same concept that there's never going to be enough good paying jobs in the world. Like, everybody can't have a good paying job. It does not, capitalism does not function that way. And some people don't understand that at all, that capitalism will not allow everybody to have a good paying full-time job, or just a good paying job in general. Like, everybody can't, the system does not allow you to prosper in that way. Capitalism does, it won't allow you to do that at all. It won't allow you to do that at all. Like, you know, you can say it's the system just keeping you down, and yeah, I say it's the system, and then it's whoever made the system. Like, I don't know, man. I'd say that we don't need to operate under capitalism if we do want to make some changes. You know, if we want everybody to have a fair chance at having a livable wage, capitalism is not the answer. It's the answer for, just like how it's made to be, it's the answer for a small few to have many or everything, and then a lot of people to have nothing. That's how that system works in capitalism, and it's always going to work like that. It doesn't matter if everybody in a perfect world worked hard, you know, and everybody got paid a livable wage, the system would crash, because capitalism does not allow everybody to prosper. If you guys look at economics, it does not work that way. It operates off of supply and demand. When there's too much supply, guess what happens to demand? And then they have to compensate for that. So that's why with inflation, how we have it now, where the government back in 2020, you know, it doesn't matter whoever was in office, but whenever they print money and they inject it into the economy, and it's more money than what everybody is used to making, or more money than what the economy normally stabilizes, then guess what we have? We have to have inflation to compensate for all the extra, because it's about supply and demand. Like I said, it's always going to even out in that way, where there has to be still, you won't be able to win, because there's always going to have to be people at the bottom. And it's so sad that it has to be like that, but that's the way that capitalism works in a nutshell. It's not really anything around it at all to do besides not be in a system of capitalism. It's not gonna work if, everybody can dream that, they're gonna be millionaires and they can work hard and try hard to do it, but it just won't happen for everybody. It's always going to be a small few. And like I said, even in a perfect world, if everybody was perfect and worked hard and we still tried to operate on a capitalistic system, it won't work at all, because it's the very few has to have everything and a lot of people have to have nothing. That's literally how it has to work. And it's so sad. Like I said, just look at your economics, study history. Like I don't care for history. I study a little bit of economics, and from what I understand in capitalism, is the system that we're operating in is that there were always and always will be people, a whole lot of people at the bottom. They can't let a whole lot of people at the top at all. That won't work at all. Like that will defeat the purpose of a class. Like that's why they have upper class, middle class, lower class. That's why you're subjugated to a certain class. Like there wouldn't be a need for a class. Everybody would be doing good. Everybody would be high class, and then whatever, I don't know, that it just wouldn't work at all. Like I said, all you have to do is just study history, study economics. Capitalism will not work like that. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's just kind of sad, I guess, the way that the system is structured, honestly. But I'm gonna see what else is in this area for real. There's not anything else, which a lot of times there is, and I'm not gonna waste gas, because I mean, gas is coming down, which I'm happy about. Some areas it's a lot cheaper than others, like literally a whole almost 50 cents cheaper. Some places are still operating at $4 a gallon for regular gas, but some areas I've been to are operating at like $3.40, and I'm like, damn. Like I said, a whole 50 cents cheaper than what other areas are operating at. So like I said, it just depends on what area you're in. But yeah, it's the gas is coming down, but still at the same time, I'm still not trying to keep on driving around and spending on gas or whatever. So it's like, if I don't make any money at all driving for a good rate, I'm just not going to drive at all. It's not that's not how I work at all. I don't serve all customers. I'm not gonna serve all customers. That's not how I do my business, and that's how a lot of businesses do their business. They can't serve all customers. They will serve the customers that best fit. This is trash. That best fit their description. That best fit what the requirements are. So a lot of times, some businesses, if you have the money, they'll serve you. Sometimes some businesses are only looking for a certain prospect or whatever, however you want to say. Like they're looking for a certain demographic or a certain type of customer. Like you have to, every business is structured differently, but every business also at the same time has requirements for them to do business with you. They're not all gonna just compensate and bow down and to serve everybody. That's not how they're gonna do that, because that's not how businesses will stay in business. I don't know, sometimes some things you can when you do business, you can kind of relate one part of you know, your life to another part. Like I said before, it was like business and then regular life. You know, so whatever you do in your business is probably what you're doing in your regular life. You know, whatever you're doing in your regular life is probably what you're doing in your business. It mirrors each other. So, I don't think that there's anything going on out here, bro. I didn't actually move over. But yeah, okay, cool. So it looks like Buckerhead is somewhat busy, so I'm gonna see exactly how busy it is, because that's the next city over from Druid Hills. But yeah, if I do get something or whatever, I'll, you know, I guess check back in with you guys. The time right now is 11:17 p.m. Thursday, June 4th, 2026. So one thing that you guys can see on my map, right, is that all in these places it's in is very busy. And I was just in Bucket, well, I still am in the Bucket area, and there was nothing at all hitting my screen. You know, and I just hate the fact that, like, the apps lie and they false advertise so often. Like, I could have sworn that false advertising is somewhat of a crime in itself. I could have sworn. But when I said, it's like the fact that it's very busy, but literally it's literally very busy with nothing or just shit offers. How is, like, and I was getting straight nothing for the past whatever few minutes. It was just mainly Uber orders that were crap too. But like, since it's very busy, let's just, I guess, prove a point or whatever, bro, because I wasn't getting nothing at all. You know, let's just cruise on through I guess the Buckhead area. We're leaving the area now, we're about to finish out the night, because so there's nothing going on, and Uber is offering shit offers, you know, even after I do good offers, and I'm like, well, I don't want shit offers in my algorithm at all, so let me accept all the good ones, and then boom, I don't accept the bad ones, and then they're sending me just straight bad ones, and then I get a good one every so often. And I've said this in my videos like years ago. Like, that's how my algorithm keeps on working, where it's like they're gonna send me shit for, you know, they've actually decreased the amount of time that they're sending me shit for. Like, I remember years ago they were sending me shit offers, and you guys can look at my videos from this is a shit offer right here. They were sending me shit offers years ago for hours and hours and hours on end, and it was so stressful and annoying, man. Like, God, it was just nothing but just shit just for hours, man. They was rolling out some shit a few years ago, and they've decreased it, but then they've decreased the offers to just shit offers now a lot of times. But at the same time, you know, like I said before, you know, we are still in the beginning of the month. A lot of people have paid rent or are in the process of trying to pay their rent. So some people don't want to spend money until about the second, or they can't spend money until like the second week of the month, or usually the third week of the month. Usually that's when things usually pick up a little bit more. But I don't know, man. I usually have bills at the beginning of the month, just like everybody else does. And, well, not usually, but I do have bills at the beginning of the month, like everybody does. And I don't know, for some odd reason, whenever I get the bills that I pay at the end of the month, it just seems like everything slows down, so then I can't make the money for the beginning of the month bills. And I'm like, bro, and it's just, like I said, a cyclical cycle that does not reciprocate at all. Get so tiring. So that's why I'm like, you know, a business model that I would do is like, just so I can not really go into the moments of, I guess, like not like being played with, I guess, and having customers that actually want to pay for a service, and not the apps trying to gamify, the drivers and pay them as the least that they can possibly do. Like just making sure that I'm taking care of business, like how I know how to take care of business, like, and take care of my customers too. Like I said, I'm just big on that. Like, a lot of people don't see this as a business, but Uber and DoorDash do. They see it as a business. That's why they're still in business, because it is a business. And, the drivers are a business. It's a business. It's a model. It generates revenue for a business, and it generates income for the people that help the business operate. So it is a business if it works. And you can have a business that doesn't work, but it won't be alive for long. This is a real life business, and you can model it to however, if you decide to go independent, which is what I'm gonna have to do, and actually become independent, if I actually want to make some actual money for real. But become independent, because the apps aren't. One thing I guess we have to know is, like, based on my experience, is that this is straight shit right here, bro. Like, that's garbage. I don't work for that. One thing we have to know is that the apps are never gonna pay us a sustainable wage, sustainable offers. Just like the shitty jobs. Like I said, it's always gonna be more shit than there is. Whatever you want to place in between, like, there's going to be more shit than there is, cherries or whatever, cake, whatever you want to put as, like, the better half of whatever isn't the better half, there's always going to be more shit than there is good, honestly, like, from what I'm seeing a lot of times. I guess you just have to try to figure out a way in order to get out of this shit, so that you don't end up, shit out of luck. But yeah. And like I said, you guys just seen the offers that they're saying that this is very busy. You guys just see me just drive from Buckhead to Midtown. I just drove a little bit through Midtown, and there was really nothing there. There was really nothing there. I don't know what else, what else to do. So what I'm about to do is, I guess, wait till the morning for when, I guess, Amazon starts picking up, just see what they got going. But yeah, I guess DoorDash and Uber is not doing it for the night. They're done, I guess, for the night. Yep. So okay, well. That's going to be the end of that, and I guess I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Uber and DoorDash. The time right now is 9:56 p.m. It's Saturday, June 6th, 2026. Right now I'm in the Midtown area. I actually traveled from the Buckhead area just a few minutes ago. I was actually in the Alpharetta area, traveled down to the Sandy Springs area, then down to the Buckhead area. Now I'm in Midtown, and I'm getting either shitty offers like this, $6 for 2 miles. No, we don't do that here, buddy. It's either no offers or it's shitty offers. Again, it's a Saturday, so you know there's a lot of people out right now. It's another party weekend. A lot of people out doing whatever they do on the weekends or whatever. It's another weekend like that out here in Atlanta. So it looks like there's not a problem with people spending money. It looks like still hella people on the roads, even though, you know, like I said before, that people are complaining about the gas. Still hella people on the roads driving expensive cars too. So, you know, the ones that take premium. This is garbage. $13 for 13 miles. Garbage. Like I said, for people to be complaining about gas, there's a lot of people driving expensive cars right now that take 93 premium, you know, so this is garbage. $5 for 5 miles. That's straight shit. Like I said, it's been nothing but, this is $12 for 2 people for 4 miles. This Tips Treats or whatever never has the order ever. Every time I ever go there, and they never have the fucking order. I'm not doing that at all. $13 for 11 miles. $6 1 mile. No, we're not. These offers are straight shit, buddy. What the fuck? And then people don't know how to drive. It's just, man, like, it's a whole lot going on. Trash. $16 18 miles. $5 8 miles. Trash. It's a whole lot going on, and it's just, man, piled up with the stress of not getting paid, bills piling up and shit. It's just, I don't understand what is going on. Man, $8, 2 customers, that's what I'm talking about. Hell no. You guys can do better. No, you guys can do way, way better than that. Stop playing. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Bro, this is what I'm talking about. Like, man, what are they doing? They're straight driving like assholes out here, bro. Like, what are, like, they're acting so weird out here in Atlanta. Like, I swear to God, they're acting so weird. Like, there's drivers that are stopping in the middle of the road for no reason at all. For no reason at all, dude. Like, bro. Man, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Like I said, they're driving like freaking assholes out here, bro. Like, straight up. Man. This is why it's definitely necessary to have dash cams, because of the people that want to cause accidents. There are literally people that want to cause accidents. Like, straight up, they want to cause accidents for no reason at all. Just wanting to cause accidents. Acting weird, bro. Like, man, I don't know, bro. It's just too stressful out here right now. Like, I'm about to just pack it up and call it a night, because I just started on Uber and DoorDash. Like I said, it's been either no orders or just straight shit offers. I did Amazon, I did 2 blocks, and those blocks weren't paying that well either. But I was like, bro, like, I guess I gotta get some money somewhere, but I'm not gonna, it's different with Amazon, but with Uber and DoorDash, I'm not about to serve, like I said, these customers for these weird low prices. I'm not about to do all that in bad driving traffic. Like, people want to be bad drivers and stuff, and like I said, it's I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just trash. Man. Garbage. 21 miles for $21. Garbage. I have to do that for $40 or $45, bro. Like I said, $50 with my own platform. But unfortunately, I can't really convert these customers. This is garbage. I can't really convert these customers to my own customers because they already paid for their food. So it's not really much of a leeway that they're giving me to kind of work with the prices right now. Like, the price is just not right. If we want to play that game, the price is not right at all. It's just not right, bro. It's not right. It's just, like I said, just straight stressfulness right now. And it's like I said, it's a party weekend. Hella people are out. Trash. Not doing that. Man, this is just straight garbage right now. This is why I just wait for trash. I don't touch that number either. Like, come on, you guys. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I'm just asking for a reasonable number so that we can get this night done, bro. Like, you guys are trying to pay me like I'm a peasant. This is garbage. I'm not trying to go that far. And then I have to shop for an order too. I'm not doing that at all. Like, garbage. $15 for 16 miles. That's garbage. God, man. $7 2 miles. Garbage. I don't touch stuff for that price at all. Garbage. $20 for 8 miles for 2 customers. This is garbage. Do they have it still? They do. We could do this right here, bro. We could do this right here. Let's see if they give it to me. This price is kind of right, because it's $2 a mile. It's $20. It's something I'm looking for. It's something I'm looking for. Garbage. They gave it to me. God damn. It's like $20 for 8 miles here. Let's get it done, buddy. Because it took them so long. Like, before I even started recording this video, bro, they weren't offering me shit like that. Like, I don't know why they always like to play in my face and act like shit is sweet. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know exactly what rates I accept. Like, stop doing that to me, bro. Like, you guys, man, like I said, it's just straight stressfulness right now. And then DoorDash is offering straight shit, as you guys can see. So I just started my mile tracker. I'm about to go and pick up these 2 orders right here, and I'll get back with you guys later. The time right now is 10:45 p.m. Saturday, June 6th, 2026. And it's trash. Again, trash. I just recently finished delivering that Chipotle order to customers, going I forgot what miles it was. It was like 8.3 miles. So instead of the 7.9, it was 8.3. Had to drive a little bit extra because I missed a turn or whatever. So it just added 0.3 of a mile or whatever, 0.4 of a mile, however you want to calculate that. But either way, it's still in the same range. So I didn't go an extra mile over, so it didn't really affect the mileage that much. And the $20 was actually base fare, so I like that when it's not like I have to wait for a tip between the 2 customers. So then it's like between the 2 customers, sometimes what they do is you'll see like a base rate of like, what is it, like $4.83. So both customers paid like or one customer paid and then one customer didn't pay or whatever, because like I said before, how they bundle the orders, where like I said, they'll bundle usually the orders with a customer that has paid a high priority price versus a customer that hasn't paid a price or a high price or a high priority price at all, and that's how they get these orders shipped out or whatever. But I guess it looks like together both customers somehow managed to pay $20 together. I don't know. I think that's what it was, but that's what the payout was, instant. Let me show you guys for verification. You guys see it there, but let's just show you guys. Don't care about that. See details, trash. See earnings details. As you guys can see here, it's $20.07 for they say 8.56, but literally I just finished delivering the stuff and the miles was 8.3 or whatever on Everlands. Like I said, I used the mileage tracker apps to track my actual mileage, because Uber and DoorDash be lying for real, like straight up. But like I said, so I just finished delivering that Chipotle order. I'm now headed back into the city. This is shitty. I'm not doing that at all. I just did it for 20, so we're not about to decrease the price like that. I'm not doing it like that, buddy. No. So I'm about to go back to the city and hopefully find something that isn't shitty. It is 10 p.m. The night is getting a little bit more busy, but it's getting a little bit more busy with trash, I want to say. It's nothing but straight shit right now, as usual. So, trash. Yeah, it was both easy drop-offs or whatever. I had a customer, one of the Chipotle customers was getting upset because I missed a turn. They were on a house on a side street, but I had traffic behind me, and I couldn't really. I didn't want to hold up traffic because traffic was kind of oncoming, and then traffic was like right behind me or whatever. And I hate delivering to like the houses are on the street. Like, so it kind of makes it difficult, so I had to turn around, but the customer wanted to get mad or whatever and told me that I need to turn around. I was like, yes, I know I need to turn around or whatever, and they was getting upset or whatever. I'm like, bro, like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on tonight, but it's just a lot of I don't know, man. It's a lot of just craziness just going on, man. Like I said, I'm about to just pack it up. If I don't see any money, I'm about to pack it up, because it's not worth all the stress for this little trash ass money, bro. It's not worth all the stress, bro. It's really not. People are driving crazy right now, and like I said, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. This is not my type of speed for my nights to go, where it's slow, trashy, and this is exactly what happens on the trash slow nights. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, sometimes when I be in traffic, like, traffic functions like an algorithm where literally, like, at the worst times, the algorithm, like, and I'm talking about the algorithm in real life, because, there's an algorithm here with, like, trash, the money here on DoorDash and Uber Scooper or whatever, and then there's an algorithm in real life where it's like, whenever I'm seeing trash on the apps, I'm gonna get, it seems like it manifests into real life of just trash drivers trying to create trash accidents and stuff like that. It's just like I said, it's something that, I don't know, like I said, it's weird, and it happens every single time. Every time it's a slow night, it's always the same, like, scenario where, like I said, the worst drivers are out, the rates are bad, it's traffic. I don't know, man. And like I said, it's every time it's slow, every time. So it's so hard to avoid, because even if you avoid the traffic, even if you avoid like the car traffic, you're gonna wind up at a restaurant that you'll think is a good offer or whatever, and then boom, there's foot traffic there where you're gonna have to wait for the order for like 15 to 20 minutes because you know they haven't prepared nothing. It's just sometimes it's almost like you can't avoid it, bro. Especially on the slow nights. Like I said, that's what I noticed with the algorithm. Like, if there's a slow algorithm in the apps, it's gonna be a slow algorithm in real life too. Like it's like I said, I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird. I can't explain it. You just have to kind of experience it for yourself. So if you've ever experienced it, then you know what I'm talking about. So but yeah, like I said, it's a really slow trash night, bruh. It's nothing but bad rates and trash. I don't touch, bro. I don't know who's delivering these Popeyes orders for these trash rates, bro. There's no way. Like, that's trash. There's no way you can deliver. No, for 2 people, bro. No, they're gonna have to go on ahead and get their own orders. Like, there's no way. No, they're gonna have to get their own stuff, bro. Actually gotta go up north. We're going back down south again. We're here by the 565. Yeah, the 565. The bar, the 565 bar and restaurant or whatever and stuff. I don't want to be over here. This is too far into the. Oh, okay, look at that. Hopefully this order isn't stolen, bro. And if they're going to give it to me, bro, because that's actually what the rates I'm looking for. I don't know. Wow. Of fucking course. They don't give it to me. And then they want to give me trash. That's what they do, bro. They don't want to give me the good offer, so then they just send me trash. Bro, I swear these apps be playing with you, bro. They be straight playing with you, bro. Playing in my face. I'm like, dude, I'm not, dude, stop. I'm not. Oh, man. It's a hell of a party night right now. Like, everybody's out partying. Literally, everybody's out partying right now. Like I said, it's 6:56, not 5:65. It's 6. Okay. I don't know why I've always seen it as 5:65. I guess maybe I'm dyslexic or something like that. I'll be reading stuff like backwards, or my eyes and brain be inserting letters and numbers and making stuff. I don't know. It'd be crazy for real sometimes. Let's go hither. Guess we can go down in here. This is oh, hell no. I don't know why people even order from the club like for $6, bro. No. Like, no. I've never in my life touched. No. Like, you've got to be a special type of special to touch an order to go to the club for $6, bro. There's a special type of special for that rate. Like, there's no way. No way. You wouldn't catch me being that down bad for an order, bro. I'd never be that down bad. It's a straight shitty night right now, bro. I hope everybody else is, wherever everybody else, is watching my videos, I hope that it's doing a lot better in whatever state you guys are in, because Georgia is the same thing, just a different day. That's usually what it is. The same thing, just a different day. I don't know, bro. Something's gotta like change for real, because this is just not gonna work. But like I said before, it's like, this is garbage. I'm not doing that. like I said, the jobs, this is not good. I don't go to Popeyes. That's garbage. Unless they're paying us an extravagant amount, bro. I've learned my lesson from, like I said, I stated this in previous videos before, where I've learned my lesson from going to certain restaurants at certain times, or just certain restaurants in general, for real. Like, Popeyes is for sure on the blacklist, at the top of the blacklist. Like, if you're not paying me like an extravagant rate to go to Popeyes at all, I'm not delivering your food. Like, I'm not gonna be the one who's picking up your order for you. I'm not. Like, there's no way. I'm gonna have to be getting paid like a standard, my standard fee, which would be like $50 to touch it, because literally every time Popeyes is out of chicken, they don't got this, they don't got that, the order was already picked up, it was stolen or whatever. Like, it'd be dumb stuff like that every time with Popeyes, especially certain Popeyes locations, bro, every time. And usually it's always Popeyes. I'm like, bro, every time they don't got chicken. I'm like, bro, you only sell chicken. How do you not have the only thing that you're supposed to be selling? The only thing they're supposed to be selling, you don't got it. How does that work? Like, every time, bro. Or the order is stolen. I'm like, bro, like, that's why I don't even get my hopes up at all, unless they're paying me a rate where I'm like, you know what, yeah, I can do that. Trash. Wendy's, I don't go to. No, there's a lot of Wendy's I still don't go to at all, because those orders be stolen too, and they don't be paying good. A lot of the times the customers from Wendy's, they be unappreciative a lot of the times, especially when it comes to like the lower rates, which is why I reiterate to stick to a certain standard, because sometimes with these lower paying customers, you will have a high chance of getting somebody that's not really that appreciative. Like I said, I've learned my lesson so many times. That's why I'm like, bro, I can't work for a lot of these rates, bro. And then also at the same time, trash. I stick to a standard where, like I've also stated in my videos, where I'm trying to get my money as fast as I can and get off the road. I'm not trying to be in the streets all night, all day, and stuff like that, driving around badass drivers out here in Atlanta. Because one thing you should know about being in Atlanta is there's a whole lot of bad drivers out here. We make well, not me, but just the general Atlanta driving statistics, or census statistics, or whatever you want to call it, like, makes the headlines every time as some of the worst drivers in the nation. That's why I'm like, I'm just trying to get my money as fast as I can, the good money at that, I'm not trying to do bad money and get into an altercation or a wreck with a driver that's bad at driving. Like I said, I'm trying to get my money as fast. No, hell no. This restaurant is hella, no. That restaurant for sure, Hungry AF, you have to pay me a good amount right there for that restaurant, because they never have the food ready, every time, and they always be packed for real. Especially the Atlanta location out here, because it's literally right next to the Georgia State University, the GSU location or whatever. I'm like, no, you gotta definitely pay me to go there. Hell no, we're not touching Popeyes for that amount for two people. Hell no. Like I said, you guys gotta pay me for that. I'm not doing all that for no. What are they, bro? Why are these drivers so bad? What is why can't they just make up their minds? Like, they're just so bad. What in the world? Like, I just didn't know that you could be that bad of a driver and still be a driver, bro. Like, but I guess, what are they doing? How are they stopping bro? People are just stopping in the middle of the highways this is what I'm talking about. Like, people are stopping in the middle of the roads for no reason, and just, oh man. Nope, I'm not touching that restaurant for that price either. Hell no, I'm not touching Wingstop for $5 for two customers, bro. $2.50 each customer, bro. No, that's garbage. What in the world? No, like I said, these rates are straight garbage. I'm in the Midtown area now. Like I said, they're doing dumb stuff right now, bro. Trash. $4, bro. Who is touching these rates? Come on, no, it's garbage. Man, garbage. Throw it away. Garbage. Bro, garbage. $12, 10 miles. That's garbage. Like, come on. I don't know who they think that they're playing or whatever, bro, but it's not me. Like, no, that's straight garbage. Garbage. I'm not touching garbage. Zaxby's, I'm not touching that for 2 people, bro. Garbage. And that's what I'm talking about. They're doing the shit again, bro. And like I said, it's too busy right now. Like, there's too many people out here right now for it to be a party weekend, and then they're still paying trash rates. $2 for 2 miles. Garbage. Still paying trash rates, bro. And everybody's out. It's a party weekend. Like I said, it's another party weekend out here in Atlanta. But when is there not a party weekend out here in Atlanta? Like, literally every weekend, it's a party weekend in Atlanta, bro. Like, garbage. I don't care. $6 4 miles. That's not what I want. I'm not doing that at all. That's trash. Like, you guys need to get the rates together. I would work for a decent trash. $10 7 miles. Trash to pick up alcohol. No, I'm not traveling 7 miles for $10. No, I'll do it for like 15. Trash. I'm not doing it for that. It's still less than $10. I'm not doing that. Especially as Taco Bell, bro. No, bro. I have to also get paid a decent amount for Taco Bell, especially out here in Atlanta, bro. A lot of restaurants out here in the trash. A lot of the restaurants out here in the Midtown area, bro, I have to be getting paid trash. I had to be getting paid a really good amount, because literally you're taking a big chance of a lot of these orders being stolen, a lot of these orders not being prepared on time. Well, not on time, but just not. You're gonna have to wait a long time for it to still be prepared, because there's a long ass line, especially when there's orders coming down the pike like this right here, where like literally like it's busy as hell, but then they don't want to pay nothing. Literally the orders are gonna be backed up, and I'm like, bro, like that's one thing that I keep on reiterating, is a wait time. Like, that stuff cuts into your money. It cuts into your actual money and how much money you can make in a certain amount of time, dude. Like, trash. It cuts into your money. So that's why I'm like, trash. $7 8 miles. Trash. That's why I'm always reiterating that you need to have a standard. Trash. $16 10 miles for 2 customers. Trash. $6 2 miles for like, no. It's way too busy out here, bro. No, $6 for bro. How? I'm not $15 for trash. This Zaxby's is crazy busy, bro. Trash. I'm not touching Popeyes unless they're paying $40, bro. I'll do it for $40, bro. I'm not touching Popeyes for nothing less than $40, bro. Straight up, I'm not touching Popeyes. I don't touch Popeyes at all. The last time I touched Popeyes, I don't even remember. It was like months ago. But that was like the last order that I touched. It was like $40, literally, and I was like, okay. I was taking a chance on it too, still, because a lot of times they don't have the orders even for those good prices. I said I was taking a really big chance on that somebody stole it, but they didn't. Trash. I'm not touching Wendy's for 2 people for that price. That's trash. Oh my god, bro. Like, they can do trash. No. And then it's on Spring Street, bro. No. That location is always busy too, because guess what? It's next to college students. I'm not doing that at all. That location is always busy. I don't touch that Taco Bell on Spring Street unless it's paying $40, $30, something like that. Because literally it's always an hour wait. It's always an hour wait for the Hungry AF location. It's always about a 30 to 45 minute wait for Popeyes. Sometimes even an hour, especially on busy nights. Like nights like this. Was that $10 for 14 miles? Trash. But it's always a heavy wait time, like especially when it's busy, and then they want to pay low ass rates, bro. I swear. Trash. I'm not going to that Shake Shack location because guess what? Heavy wait times. I can't do it right now. It's too much traffic and it's too busy right now. Trash. God, man. It's just, I just don't understand why it's so hard for them to just get the memo. Trash. $3.70, bro. Man, I just wonder if people are even getting their orders, and like when you see orders like that, bro, I promise you those customers are not getting their shit, bro. I promise you they're not getting their stuff. Like there's no way somebody looked at $3.75 and thinks that that's a good offer. Like they think that that's a steal of an offer. Like they can't. I don't know. There's no way, bro. There's no way. Like I have to be super delusional to think that, like, I don't know, man. Like, you got to be super delusional to think that that's a good ass rate, bro. There's no way you think that that's good. And then to think that that's good on top of hoping to get a tip, bro. Your tip is gonna be probably not even a thank you, bro. They're probably not even gonna $11 for 10 miles. Trash. $12. I don't like that location. No. Do better. Trash. I'm not doing two customers for that price. $11, bro. That's a one person price. $11, 8 miles. Trash. I'm not doing it, bro. That's not paying enough. Trash. $8, 4.3. Trash. You guys could do a lot better. Stop. Like I said, this is a luxury convenience service. We're not doing it. $8 for a mile for CVS, 3 items. This is garbage. This is garbage right there. Do I want that? Which location is this at? This is the one that's on Peachtree. This is in the parking garage. They close at 12. I'll let that time out because I think that they can maybe do better on that rate, bro. I'll let it time out. They could do better on that rate. They can do at least $10 for that, bro. They can do $10 on that rate because they close at 12. This is garbage. I'm not touching. That's a one person price also. That's garbage. Okay, maybe if they send it again and put it at like $10, I'll do it. Garbage. Garbage. You know, I don't know if that order was the same thing as the DoorDash order that they just sent through as a DoorDash order and then they just sent it through Uber's algorithm. Like, what, bro? They're acting dumb again, bro. What in the, bro? Oh my God, why? Bro, it's too much traffic and people are acting crazy in traffic, bro. This is just not good. But yeah, I'm wondering if that was the same order from DoorDash that they just sent through as a Uber Eats order. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, whenever sometimes I decline an order like that or I let it time out or whatever, and then I have like Uber system running or whatever, sometimes I think that they send it through again as they ship it over to like the next server. And I think that Uber and DoorDash operate on the same server, so it's easy for them to kind of intermingle the order. So, like, you know, if you don't catch it on DoorDash, they'll send it on Uber, or if you don't catch it on Uber, they'll send it on DoorDash or something like that. Like, I think that that's what they do, because like I said, that order was a little kind of suspect. Nancy's Taqueria are not doing that. That's way too far. No, trash. That's a one person price. I'm not doing it for 2 people. Like, no, you guys are going to have to do a little bit better, bro. There's too many. And then when they bundle all the offers together, bro, that's how you know it's super busy. They also do it when it's super busy. They be bundling the shits together. When it's super busy like this, and then they can't get orders to go out, they bundle them. Like I said, it's like the system is too freaking easy to freaking debunk, or like when you see the patterns, you'll start to see like how. No, we're not doing Goodfellas. That's a nice rate, but nope, not doing that restaurant. I'll do it for $15, bro. It's a nice rate, but no, not right now. I know exactly what's going on over there, bro. I'm not doing it for that rate. seriously about to go on ahead and park the car because this is just not doing good at all, man. Like, these rates are trash and they're really pissing me off, bro. Like I said, there's just too many people out here right now for it to be still paying garbage. Like, trash, 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 trash. Bro, like, come on. Like, we're not doing all that, bro. Like, there's too much garbage. It's too busy for them to be paying like that, bro. Too busy. Trash. Like I said, I hope that the rates are a lot better in whatever state that this is definitely garbage. And it's going to the same customer? No, that's garbage. No, I had to do that for $20, buddy. $21 at that, because it's 11 miles, so no. And $10 for 11 miles, you're starting at 90 cents a mile, like literally. Starting at pennies. Like I said, we don't get paid in pennies here. It's whole dollars. Whole dollars, bro. Whole dollars. Maybe some people are used to getting paid in pennies. That's garbage. And then that's transitioning me out of my area. That's garbage. I don't want to do that. This is garbage. Different customers. It's garbage, bro. I had to get like $36 for that. And then also at the same time, like, when you guys are hearing me saying like what my price is to do these offers, like, this is not an unreasonable amount of what I'm looking for, because these are the rates that we're being paid for by these customers that are placing orders at these certain restaurants. Like, this is not new. Like this is like I'm taking a severe pay cut to be working with a lot of these customers. Like, straight up, I'm trash, garbage. That's like 3 offers there for $12, bro, to work with 3 customers. What is that? Bro, that's crazy. Like I said, they're bundling orders together because they're not going out. It's way too busy for that. And I'm not about to do that, bro. Trash. What is this? I wouldn't know. What? Like, just imagine getting paid $3.85. Like, just imagine somebody putting $3.85 in your hands to go through traffic, avoid bad drivers, you know, wait times. Imagine that. $3.85. Like, just imagine the dollars in your hand of what they're paying you in order to go through the hoops and barrels of doing a lot of these orders. Trash. $6.85 for 12.7 miles. Garbage. Decline. And as you guys can see, I'm at a 0% acceptance rate because it's garbage. It's straight garbage. God, you've got to be kidding me, bro. Garbage. No. Stop bundling the orders together. That's a one-person price. I don't know. We're not doing that, bro. Not right now. Garbage. Super garbage. What is 0% acceptance rate, buddy? You're not. No, just give me a good rate. Like, that's all I'm asking for. I'll even do it if it's taking me out the zone, but give me a really good ass rate, like $30 going 7 miles or something like that, bro. $30 going 5 miles or something like that, bro. You guys can do it. I know you guys can. It's way too busy for all this shit to be like coming down my screen for you guys not to want to pay, bro. There's no way. There's no way. And then this shit is glitching. Trash. Decline. Like, everybody's still driving crazily because they can't make up their minds at all. What is going on? Like, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, way too much traffic and people can't. Trash. People can't make up their minds. Like, it's too much garbage right now, bro. Like I said, just give me $30, $25, going 5 miles or something like that. 7 miles, I'll do it. I don't. No, I didn't say it. No, buddy, no, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I said $25 or $30 going 5 or 7 miles, not 23 going 18, buddy. That's a no-no. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to make the money quickly because I have bills that are coming up quicker. 20 for 12. No, we're not doing that. I just told you I'm not trying to go that far. God. 17 for 10. I'm not still trying to go that far. I just don't understand. Like I said, it's just the algorithm is not getting what the gist of what I'm trying to do is. Even though I'm accepting orders and I'm trying to put myself into a certain area, but they're not getting it all. Trash. Oh my God, bro. You gotta be kidding me. And then we had to deal with freaking trash ass Uber. Oh, and they deleted that trash. So let's see what trash. I'm not doing it for that price. Like I said, they will pay you. Like, the offers are at the back of the queue, and you have to keep on declining and declining and declining. Trash, because you have to teach them how you want to be paid. Trash. $2.45 for. Who is doing that? Like, who is doing that? Come on. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Like, come on, bro. There's no way. Trash. I'm not doing that. $20 for 9 miles. Like, I'm not doing it at all. Not $20 for 9 miles, but if it's not 9 miles, that's cool too. It's still $2 a mile for me. $9 for 6 miles. I'm not doing it at all. That's too bad. No, we're not touching that either. You guys can pay $10, $15, bro, for all these orders coming through, bro. I'm not doing that. I know you guys can, bro. I know you guys can do that, bro. You guys are playing games right now. And it's not funny. Man. It's way too busy for this shit, bro. $8 going to 2 customers. Okay, well, that's too bad. It's the same customer. They could pick up their same order then. Because I'm not doing it for that rate, bro. I'm not doing it for that rate. $10? No, we're not doing that either, bro. Nope, we're not doing that either. I'm probably just gonna leave trash. Hell no, definitely not for Five Guys. Oh hell no, definitely Five Guys is on the list of having to be paid at an exponential rate because of them having to prepare the orders like right there. Usually, like they never have the orders prepared like that. Sonic, Checkers. All these restaurants that I'm naming, like, it's just by experience of just knowing that these places take forever. You know, like the wait times are long because, you know, they're trash. They're having to prepare the order by the time you get there. you know, so you have to like wait, you know, the order's gonna be fresh for the customer, but it's like if I'm not getting paid good for the convenience that I'm giving to the customer and stuff like that, I'm not doing it for these trash rates, bro. Like I said, it's convenience. So I want to be conveniently paid to wait to deal with the stuff that the customer doesn't want to deal with at all. Like, it's not that hard to ask for. Trash, $13, 16 miles, garbage. Like, there's no way you're about to pay me like a peasant and expect me to deal with the stuff that you don't want to deal with. Like I said before, this convenient service. That means that if you wanted your food bad enough, you will probably pay. The customers will pay if they want their order bad enough. I've met customers like that where they tip according to how much they respect the service, how much they appreciate the service, how much, and then, you know, like I said, all I would hope is that customer is getting served according to how they are appreciating the service. Like I said, if they're not appreciating the service, okay, well then they don't deserve the best service at all. They don't want to pay the price of convenience. They don't deserve the service, in my opinion, bro. Like that's just my personal opinion. Like, if they don't want to pay if they have a problem with the price or whatever, paying for convenience, then they don't need the service at all. Like it's not even like a low blow or whatever. It's like I said, it's convenience. Like, if you really want the convenience that bad, you will pay for it. It's not even about, and another thing, it's not even about me getting rich off the stuff. I have bills, I have severe expenses, probably more expenses than a lot of people that are ordering these foods and stuff like that. But I have major expenses, seeing that, you know, I have to use my own vehicle. I use gas, and gas prices are going up. Insurance, you know, bad drivers, wait times, orders being stolen, you know, so then I can't even get the money a lot of times. You know, it's just dumb stuff like that. Like I said, it's just inconveniences to provide a convenience. And like I said, customers just don't know that at all. And this is what I make these videos for, is to bring out awareness for the shit that, you know, we have to deal with as drivers, or, you know, couriers, you know, as a white glove service at that. You know, like, this is a luxury service. Like I said, that's what I'm going to stick with. They're causing big ass accidents on the highway. They already shut down one part of the highway, so it looks like, because they're paying shitty rates and they're shutting down highways, bro, it's time to just wrap it up, bro. It's time to wrap it up. So the time right now is 11:24 p.m. and it's still Saturday, June 6th, 2026, and we're gonna call it a dead day. We made $20.07 on the day from Uber and no trash money from DoorDash. So we're gonna call it quits here, and because like I said, they're causing shutdowns on the highway, and just showing you guys, like, every time I go to a new area, because I was just in the Buckhead area, I was just in the Sandy Springs area, and they were just telling me that it was very busy. Every time I transition to a new area and it says it's very busy, it's gonna end up like these light red, pink areas right here, where it's gonna say it's busy, or it's just dead, it's just not busy at all, like without the peak pays. They do it every time, like, bro. And they're gonna send shit offers, a whole bunch of them. So I'm like, I'm not about to be playing with you guys on that. And then the $17, I earned that a long time ago. It's not even $17 in this account right now on DoorDash. It's like 77 cents here. I'll show you guys. 77 cents. I said it's really bad money, bro. It's really bad money. Like, man, it's bad money. Like I said, I'm not about to do it with them if they're not gonna pay me at all. I have to pay bills. I need to get paid appropriately. I'm not about to do it with them if they're not gonna pay me appropriately. Like, I'm not, you know, they're not about to sucker me into, like, no, I'm not doing that at all. So yeah, we made $20 from Scroober, you know, and we made Amazon money, so that's fine too, but I'm not about to do this. So I'll catch you guys on the next episode.